on a Buffy screen.
Good evening, denizens of the internet. I have come to you from the ether to present London Calling, a Vaesen actual play here on Happy Jack's RPG Network. I am so excited to get started, and I am deep in the first session GM butterflies phase of my day, so I'm super jazzed up. Also, I've had caffeine for the first time in several days, so I'm tickled all the way through. The bubbles, they're so good. Anyway, I am CADAVE. I will be the GM tonight. Let's go around the table and get to know everybody else. So let's do who you are, who your character is, and like a quick one sentence character description. Okay, let's start with Sam.
Hello, I'm Sam. Oh no, I already forgot what I was doing. Also known as Red Pandroid. My character is Sean Jones, who is a real medium fake Welsh person.
All right, let's go, Kurt.
Hi, I'm Kurt Potts. I am playing Jackie Princeton, Texas Tornado. He is a boxer, and he's just happy to be here.
Clara.
Hi, I'm Clara, and I'm playing Saoirse Sheehy, an Irish, I guess, person living in London at this time, who is a writer and actually a medium. I looked back at the thing the skill I took, and that also is a medium situation, but we don't want to deal with that right now.
Oh, as soon as you try and use it, let me know. I'm very excited.
This is gonna be a psychic the psychic powers from the last stream where I'm like, I'm never gonna use it, and then we use it every session.
Yeah.
Why take abilities if you can't use them?
All right, let's do Mitch.
Oh my. Yeah, I'm Mitch. Mitch Bustillos, and I am playing Diablo Aman, who is an immigrant from Spain, who just works for this weird occultist, sleeping under her bed and everything. So I'm very excited about this.
Nice.
It's the under the bed for me. We have other beds.
Every bed is a bunk bed if you're willing to sleep underneath their bed. All right,
Very
bunk beds are the best.
I bet Diablo is not the weirdest thing that's ever slept under Sean's bed, so.
I mean, sometimes he tries to go to sleep and he has to kick out some other creature. Just like, hey, this is my spot. Get off my pillow.
Yeah,
it'd be great.
He's just a boogeyman in training.
Oh man, now I want to go back and rewatch Babadook. It was such a good, creepy movie.
Incredibly so.
All right, so let's get started with a little bit about Vaesen. Last time on our character creation session, if you tuned in, you guys heard a little bit about how the game works. Basically, it's a dice pool mechanic. All the players are going to need a bunch of d6s. Excuse me. If you're going to try and do something like lift something really heavy, I would say, okay, use your physique attribute and your force skill. And you take those two numbers, add them up, roll that many d6s. If you get a 6, you succeeded. If you get more than 1 6, you get to buy extra cool effects. Like maybe you do it with style, or maybe you have enough that you could help somebody else. Give them a bonus to something in the future, or maybe you do it quietly. So you're not just battering down the door and letting everybody know you're coming in. That kind of a thing. And that applies for all the different mental and physical skills. If we get to the point where you guys decide to have some kind of combat tonight, This game actually has a little bit more combat mechanics than the traditional Tales from the Loop. They've added in sort of an initiative system this time that basically you'll just get a random number between 1 and 10, and that's your initiative, what order you go in. Players can exchange initiative at will as long as you're in the same area. Like if you can talk to a person or yell to them, you can switch initiatives. That's fine. If you do certain moves, like I know Kurt, your boxer, has some abilities that might let him take initiative from someone else, or an NPC or someone that you're fighting. That can happen too. And then when you go to do damage to somebody, if you're trying to punch them, that's just you do your roll. However many successes you get is how much damage you can do to them. Now, this game doesn't have hit points, it has conditions. But NPCs usually have a toughness score. So the toughness score is what provides their hit points. But supernatural monsters usually still have conditions. Just other people go with the toughness thing. Oh, okay. Very good. Yeah. I thought you were looking for something in particular, Kurt.
No, I actually, so anyone can swap initiative. It's one of the extra success mechanics on if you parry or dodge, and then the other one, I think there's like a overwhelm them or maneuver something.
Right.
You can do it then too.
That leads perfectly into the next bit. In combat, you guys get a fast action and a slow action. Okay? So a slow action is basically anything that's going to take a skill check. So shooting a pistol at somebody, trying to punch them, running a distance, anything like that is a slow action. And then a fast action can be something quick, like yelling something to a friend or walking up to someone that's nearby you to get into a fist fight or something like that. You can, however, save your fast action on your turn and use that to parry or dodge an attack from something else. So if you take your fast action on your turn, well, you're out for the round. You don't have the ability to dodge if something comes at you. So keep that in mind when we get to that phase, which I don't know if we'll get to tonight, but I don't know if you guys are prone to bar fights. We'll see. The traditional RPG hang up. Yeah.
I got distracted by chat. I definitely was listening. Let's not get in any fights tonight.
It's very simple, I promise. Even just the description makes it sound harder than it is. It's just every round you get to do something. If you do another little additional thing, then that makes you a little more vulnerable. But if you're not the target of something, you're probably fine. All right. I think that's about all the super important stuff. Oh, why don't we go around real fast? Same order. Everybody tell me your special talent that you took during character creation. Because some of them are real cool, and we can remind the audience that you guys all have a little bit of mystery to you. So, Sam.
All right, same order. Hello, I'm Sam. Actually misspoke earlier. I am the occultist archetype, and my talent is medium. So I can perform a seance for a group of people for money. Give me your money, and hopefully make ghosts appear and not get possessed or go insane or be harmed.
Cool. Kurt.
I am a boxer and I'm famous. People know who I am. They've heard of the Texas tornado. At least anybody who's heard of the Texas tornado, that they'll act more favorably towards me when I try to manipulate them.
All right, Clara.
I have automatic writing. When channeling spirits through automatic writing, you can use inspiration to gain clues. And basically, I get to ask our master of mysteries. What do we call you?
Any combination of those things is great. Master of Mysteries is what the wonderful Bill that came up with our cool intro movie came up with
Excellent.
for me,
All
and I
right.
like it a lot.
Very good.
We get to ask the game top if we want to any questions we want. If I fail, I get a condition, including getting possessed or personality change. So high risk, high reward.
Mm-hmm. I like it. And Mitch.
Yeah, so Diablo, you can see his special talent when he is outside cleaning himself via the barrel of water in a cold, brisk evening. A very well-toned body. We're talking about cut for days. And just like the right amount of like tush that he does squats. So I took the talent tough. So he gets a +2 on those force rolls because of the squats.
That man doesn't need a belt.
Nah, never.
You might actually be a better boxer than me. Because I didn't have access to one of those.
Oh no.
Yeah. All right. So I think that's just about it for rule stuff. Anything else that comes up will come up as we go. The supernatural creature. Hold on. We went over this. Vaesen. They have some special powers. When you encounter them, you might have to face your fear, because each one has different levels of scary. Some of them aren't so scary. Some of them are actually kind of cute. But pretty much all
Which
of them.
ones are hot?
We'll find out.
That's all we care about.
I don't know what counts for you individually, so you get to decide. I will provide descriptions. You decide your ultimate goals.
Yeah, listen, I don't think we'll
I'm
get
not
to
taking
combat.
away. Yeah.
We're never gonna get to combat.
Stop sleeping with my experience points.
But that's how you get the experience points.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You get better at what you do the most.
Every game session is just going to be okay. Describe the thing we see. Nice. Let's go.
How many tentacles? Oh my gosh.
Yes, but are they thick?
And how thick? What's the girth? Radius.
No.
What we got going on here?
No. This is not. I promise this will not devolve into Vaesen Fatal. That's not what we're going to do here.
You invoked it. No.
Yeah, it's a thing. I know what I'm about.
See, we were very sophisticated till you said that. Now we're just
sure. Yeah, it was all me that pushed it over the edge. Mm-hmm.
This was totally on the rails the whole time.
Mm-hmm.
All right.
Train conductors.
So the first thing we're going to start off with is I want to ask all of you a question. And that question is, are you new to London, having received an invitation from the society, the group that is semi-organized to deal with these Vaesen problems? Or are you a person that's been here for a while?
Well, I think Sean has been here for a while. She's definitely been working the upper crust circuit, performing seances and making some money and notoriety for herself.
Cool. So I assume that means Diablo's also been here a while.
Yeah, Diablo is frequently around, especially when people are like, oh man, she can't be a medium. And then I'm like, you really want to say that to me in front of her? Come on. And I just kind of like, just go, put it back. That's all it takes.
Wait, are your abs her credentials?
Yeah.
I think that works.
Yeah.
I'm not against it.
Check the resume.
We might not be able to see ghosts, but guess what? We can see abs.
Mm-hmm.
It's like a freshly shucked corn cob when he takes his shirt off.
Mm-hmm.
Who's gonna argue with a man with that many abs? Come on.
I know. They're like, Did that exist in this time period? Holy hell! Like
It's somewhat confusing, even, right? You're just
It
like,
isn't.
is
it
that
isn't.
is that normal? Is that okay?
Someone
It is
breaks
an
out an
eldritch
abacus
number.
and is just
It is an eldritch number of abs.
Yes, abs for days. It never ends. It's an infinity
gotta-
ab.
It's got to have something to do with his diet. I don't know.
Mm-hmm. McDonald's cheeseburgers.
Okay. All right, so that's those two. What about Saoirse?
I think for ease of other things, I'm gonna say Saoirse's been here for a minute, a couple years now, maybe
Okay.
5.
And the Texas tornado.
Yeah, he's been in London since the war ended.
Okay. Cool. So,
yeah,
you all basically receive a note. It's delivered by a courier that comes by and gives you like a very Victorian style calling card, right? It has an address on it, a little rose insignia at the top. And it's your invitation to call upon the Rose House to assume your role as investigators of the society. Tomorrow, anytime after 9 a.m., you can get there. So, is there anything that anyone would like to do your first night in game before you go off to the house tomorrow?
There's no way we know anything about this society situation at all.
You have gotten you've gotten familiar with them a little bit. They sent you some correspondence after that one of their investigators that was visiting kind of determined that you could also see some scary things and you had some knowledge of stuff. They try and keep tabs on people that do, because really you're the only ones that can help out. And they're in a position where they can fund your efforts to do these investigations and deal with these supernatural problems.
Excellent.
So
So it
it's-
just doesn't sound sketch, is what I'm asking.
No, it does. Like, you were informed, like, oh, let me get back to our home office, as it were, in Sweden, and then I will figure out how we can get you established here. There, he even goes on to say in the correspondence that you're reviving an old chapter of the society that used to be here in London, but is no longer.
In that case, I have nothing I need to do.
Okay.
I'm going to tuck my lady in. Just get the blankets on her, make sure, like, if it's winter, I got like the little heater, going. Very nice and warm.
She's like, Diablo, what is it you think you're doing? We have to do our night reconnaissance.
What? Oh my God. Look, tomorrow's going to be a stressful day. All right. Most likely one or both of us are going to die. We're going into an unfamiliar location.
Which is why we should check it out. The
I
moon
think
is full. The spirits will be willing. Let's go and have a look.
Spirit's always willing with you, though. Like, I think we should get our rest, I'm not saying you don't look good, but I'm saying maybe a full night's sleep would make a good impression tomorrow and keep our wits about us.
When was the last time that I got a full night's sleep? We work at night.
I got some drugs we can take if we want a full night's sleep.
You can take your drugs. I'll be on my way.
All right, well, let's go then. If we're gonna go, we're gonna go. Let's do this. Let's roll.
If you're going to a creepy place, you gotta check it out at night. The secrets won't be apparent in the daytime.
Oh, very good. All right. Are you gonna go try and check out the house at the address tonight?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Or- Oh, all right.
I want to
I
go
dig
look
it.
at it in the moonlight.
All right. Well, before we get to that, what about? I'm gonna keep saying Texas Tornado because that's what sticks in my head. But what's your character's first name again? I forget.
Jackie.
Jackie.
Jackie Princeton.
Got it. I remembered Princeton and I remember Texas Tornado, but Jackie got lost in the shuffle. So, what about Jackie? What kind of night?
Yeah. So anytime he's not sure like what's going to happen the next day, unless it's a fight, like he's, that's fine. That's good. If he's the way he deals with his nerves is he goes and he finds like a money fight.
Sure.
Just to let off some steam. So he'll go do a off the books money fight.
All right.
So he looks and feels his best tomorrow.
Yeah, just eyes swollen shut. So let's see the outcome of your fight. Let's do let's do your physique and close combat or force, whichever is better for you.
All right. I forgot to pull out dice because of course I did.
I even gave you the warning.
I know.
But get a bunch of D6s.
All right, all of my Tales from the Loop D6s are on the top, so I'll use those.
Close enough.
Even though they usually roll really bad. All right, let's see. So force plus physique. So force is 2, physique is 5. There we go. All right, and we're looking for 6s. So I got 1 success.
Okay. So you get there and you're feeling confident, right? You have your level of fame. As soon as you walk into a underground boxing match, like people are like, "Oh, hey, it's a Texas Tornado," and that's going around the crowd, the whispers, and then you find a manager that's willing to put you up, and
when he's looking for when he wants attention, he dresses different.
Nice. So yeah, you strut in there full Texas waddle, and present yourself, and the manager's like, "Oh yeah, absolutely." And he puts it on the line for if you win, you're gonna make 10 pounds tonight, right? Because there's a big crowd. If you lose, you still get 3. So you then manage to get yourself into the ring, and you're pretty confident. You're feeling it. You're like, yeah, the energy of the ring really builds you up. And sorry, both of my dogs sprinted at me all the way down the hall, like they had something very urgent to tell me, and then they just turned around and left, as they are wont to do. But you get in there, and the guy across from you, he kind of stands up because he was sitting on this little stool, and you're sure that you're gonna just win, right? This guy doesn't look like anything. You got him handled, and you get into the fight, and that guy is wiry and quick. You weren't expecting it, but it takes you a few rounds longer than you thought, but you managed to get him down. I'll say that you really only have to worry about you have a little cut lip. It's going to bother you if you try and drink some orange juice for a few days, but other than that, you're fine. He didn't get any other solid head hits. So you'll be all right tomorrow. And you walk away with your 10 pounds.
All right. And
Which I think
he'll
seems like too much, but we're just going to go with it.
We furiously Googling the exchange rate.
Yeah, no, we're just going to use whatever numbers come out of my mouth as the exchange rate, because that works.
That's how I do my taxes.
Cool. All right. So now back to the investigation of Rose House at night.
Oh, sorry.
Mm-hmm.
All right. So you have the address. It's not super far because it's pretty close to, city center, right? It's not out in the distant edges. It's not in a particularly rough part of town, but it's kind of an older area of town, with big stately houses. Um, do you guys plan to, like, what's your plan for approaching the place? You just gonna roll up in a carriage and hop out, or you want to try and be sneaky, or what's your deal?
Sneaky, yeah. Stealthy is my main thing. So,
Okay.
probably have a carriage take us a block or two away, and then hop out and stealthily approach the
All right.
building.
Yeah, we could do like an alley-oop. Like I'll like throw you to the second floor.
Sounds great. I have a 1 in agility.
It's
Oh.
fine. Fine. Don't worry about it.
All right. So let's both of you go ahead and make a precision stealth roll.
Okay.
One success.
Okay. And at the end of the day, that's all you need. Is
I
That's all
got
you
4
get.
successes.
Holy
4.
giggles! What dice
you-
are you using?
You hop out of the carriage and just blend into a shadow. Like you're just the shockingly one of the gas lamps is not working right there, and it just creates a pool of darkness, and you just become one with it as you get out of the carriage and proceed on your way.
Even Diablo's like, "Where'd you go?"
Yeah, I'm like,
Yeah.
I'm going home. Like
he's still holding the door of the carriage, thinking you haven't gotten out
Left
yet.
me.
But then you like tap him on the shoulder, like, "Let's go." But yeah, you very successfully managed to make your way down the street, and not a soul notices you
Excellent.
as you approach Rose House. And when you get to the spot where you can see it, it's a big building, right? It's a 3-story home, and it's spread out. It takes up. It's not just a narrow sort of row house connected to other houses. It's a big, stately building that looks a little disrepaired. You can see that, some of the windows on the outside are all quite dirty. It doesn't look like it's been used very much. There's some, that trellis ivy that has grown up one wall and just kind of spilled onto one whole corner of the building. Doesn't look like it's been tended properly from a little garden green space on the side. It looks like there's a walled sort of outdoor space that you can't see in because it's a big, tall, 10-foot plus wall. But you do see above the front door, you see the same rose icon that you got on your little calling card. And behind that, you do see some flickering light inside.
Ooh.
Does it look like anyone's in there?
I mean, you don't see any activity. You just see sort of the typical gas lamp sort of light.
Okay.
That
What do you think?
is a little unusual because this is the 20th century now.
Yeah.
Most places have kind of become electrified. You see electrical wires run places, that kind of thing.
So I have a skill called observation that uses empathy. I kind of want to treat this house like an entity, basically, and try and like observe it from a like, what has happened here? What is this? What's going on with this thing? Like, see, just to get a sense of like, is this an
Okay.
ominous place? Has it been like a place of magic? Like that kind of thing.
All right. I like it. Yeah, let's do it.
Okay.
Because normally observation does apply to people, but you're specifically looking through the lens of, is there weirdness with this house, and
Yeah,
treating
and
it
like
like it could
as
be.
an occultist, like if a place has history, it might have some sort of like residue of the people that live there.
That
Okay,
absolutely works.
so observation plus empathy. Okay,
Empathy, yeah.
gotcha. Right, dice. Do a good job, please. Well, I only got one success,
Okay.
but I did get one.
You did. So I will tell you that you kind of reach out with all of your senses, right? Including the ones that are beyond most folks. And you get back a feeling that the house is tired, but it's waking up. Not like it's going to uproot itself and roar and run down the street and start smashing London or anything, but like you get the feeling of like there hasn't been activity here for a long time, and now there's like there's been some feeling of excitement almost from the place. But you don't get any malevolence off the place. I will also give you that some of the outer stones in the wall, they do have some scorch marks on them. But like there was a fire or something at one point, but the house doesn't look damaged from fire in any way, other than just a little bit of blackened on the outside of some of the stone wall.
Okay.
Hey, so what we thinking, alley-oop or get hitched?
Get hitched.
We're doing that one?
I think I've seen enough. I think we'll be all right to come back in the morning.
Drag my ass out here and we're not even gonna go. Okay, you know, you have to find, you know what, my lady, let's tuck you back in the bed. Let's get that good night of sleep. Like I said, you need it. Good 6 hours. I don't know. And I'll like call another.
Is it after
carriage.
9? We don't have to be there first thing in the morning.
Taxi.
It takes you a few minutes, because this isn't a very rollicking neighborhood in the middle of the night, but eventually you flag down. Yeah, it's a taxi. It's just a straight. By now, there are the London black cabs, so you find one. And he kind of looks at you strangely, like he wasn't expecting to find a fare down this way. It's sort of a shortcut that he takes to get around some traffic, but he's happy to pick you up and take you back home. That's no problem.
Yeah, we'll be like, look at this woman, and look at me. All right, you're not gonna remember us. All right, after this night, everything's gonna blur, just like every day of your existence. The monotony of it will just gray out.
I feel like you're kind of doing a manipulation on him. Yeah. So let's do manipulation and empathy. Let's see if you manage to tap into the existential dread of his life.
I got 4 successes.
Oh God!
Oh no! This guy's gonna have nightmares.
Yeah,
I'm
yeah. Let's see.
sleeping under his bed tonight.
Okay, so here's how it works. When you get extra successes on manipulation, you can actually use those extra successes to impose mental conditions. So like you can cause mental trauma to this cab driver if you want. You don't have to. But you succeed, and he's like, "Oh, no worries. I'll absolutely. I don't remember anyone's faces. I just drive the cab."
Hey, look at me.
And he's kind of like looking back in the rearview mirror with like scared eyes, right? He's kind of
Yeah, I'll give him whatever condition keeps you up at night as you examine where your life has been and where it's going, understanding that it's going nowhere.
Anxiety. You just gave him like chronic anxiety.
Yeah.
It's not that hard to do.
Yeah. Like I feel it now. Like I'm concerned for
Yeah.
myself. All right. So yes, you have done, like, he clearly looks intimidated, and he gives you the nod, and he keeps like glancing up into the rearview mirror, but then like trying to not. But it's more that glance of like, is something about to get me kind of look. It's not because he's trying to keep an eye on you.
Yeah, keep
at
looking
all.
in mirrors, you're gonna see something looking back. And I'll tuck my charge back in. Just be like, okay, look, get that sleep. All right, no more gallivanting with adventures and stuff. Did you want tea? Did you want a glass of milk?
Of course I want tea.
Oh my god. Okay, fine.
You don't have to tuck me in. I keep telling you every day.
I gotta look. Someone might be looking. Let me do my job, okay? You do the ghost stuff. This is like my thing. All right, I'm getting pretty good at it. And he'll go make some tea with some like alcohol in it. Everclear, just like. Here you go. And I'll place it on your lap, and then I will put my cup on the ground, and I will get down on my knees and just kind of shimmy under the bed, like with my little teacup. Like,
his tuck you in is literally he just reaches up and pulls the blanket up.
Perfect.
The smiling man tucks you in every night.
Great.
All right.
Get how this is worse, right?
but better. Yeah.
All right. So the next morning, sun rises, everyone's able to get a breakfast if they so choose. Any preparations you want to make first thing in the morning, you can absolutely do. That's fine. But then it's time to head on over for your calling card.
Yeah. I mean, I'll polish my gun, holster it, and I'll call this a taxi.
And when you all arrive on the street, some of the observations that you guys made last night, the house on the outside looks pretty weathered, right? It doesn't look like there's been a lot of maintenance or cleaning or anything on the outside of the house in a very long time. Like, clearly, if there was an HOA here, somebody would have been sending letters about the state of the outside of the house. But this morning, the front door last night was very dirty. This morning, the brass doorknob is polished to the point where you could see that Bruce Willis doesn't have a reflection. It's, it is just a great, like, it is perfectly clean where it was not last night. And there's a big, like I said, the rose up top, but then there's from that rose window, there's like a thin line of what looks like gold, or maybe it's brass, that comes down as sort of the stem of the rose flower, and that kind of curls into a little knocker on the front door.
Do we all arrive at the same time?
I
If
definitely get
everybody's-
there 10 minutes early
Sure.
because 10 minutes early is on time.
The letter says after 9.
It says 9 o'clock.
Saoirse arrives exactly at 9.
Okay. What about you guys? Are you aiming to be there a little early or fashionably late? Or
Fashionably late.
okay. So we'll start with Jackie then.
Diablo hates it.
Right.
So he won't actually go in, he'll just be there. So he's like standing at a post or like leaning up against the gate, right? Waiting for 9 a.m. to roll around.
Sure.
Probably got like a cigar in his mouth and reading a
It's
newspaper.
9 a.m.
9 a.m. is a perfectly valid time for a cigar.
That's true.
Got to do something while you read the newspaper.
Read. Not me
then-
furiously looking up public transportation in London.
Well, they have the double-decker buses by now.
They do. I think actually Saoirse would have walked. I think she's just she was probably like woke up extra, when you're getting somewhere and you're ready when you have to be somewhere at 2, so you can't do anything all day except push that back like
Yeah,
6 hours.
I totally
So
get
she
that.
just walked.
I will say I didn't earlier. I'm sorry. It's springtime, like mid-March. So it's not particularly cold or particularly foggy or any of the usual London weather. It's a little overcast, but it's not currently raining or anything. But the sky is light enough that it's not dingy or dark. And it's not cold, but it's London, so it's not like 75. It's more somewhere in the 50s to 60s. For a perfect day for a morning stroll.
I'm going to take advantage of it. It's April 25th. It's not too hot and not too cold, and all you need is a light sweater.
It's not quite to that point. Like, you'd still need a coat if you were going out for a while, but in the morning, you know that you'll be fine.
Oh yeah. But yeah, I'm going to take advantage of the nice weather and having been awake for this long, and just walk. And one of the distinctive apparel pieces that Saoirse wears is just a oversized coat that is covered in pockets, like an absurd amount, and some have been additionally stitched on
Okay.
for reasons.
I like it. Okay.
There's a big old political reason for it. I'll see if I can find it.
in an attempt to have like matching fabrics, or are they just all
there was an
ramshackle?
attempt. It was a nice. At some point, it was a fashionable trench coat in 1913. I'm sure. It got extra pockets over time, and this is a true thing, as a suffrage such thing.
Yeah.
Now it's full of pamphlets.
And that's great. That's awesome. So you kind of rustle as you walk.
A little bit.
Yeah. Is there like leaves on the wind, or what? Like, oh no, it's just you.
There's like definitely a stain, as like a pen has definitely leaked in one of them. It just happens.
So you get to the front and you see there's a man out front reading the newspaper and having a smoke.
Does he look like he works here?
Well, what kind of outfit?
He's got that, like, he looks like he's from Birmingham. He's like wearing a jacket and vest and this hat, a similar hat. And
I'm deciding
if you've seen Peaky Blinders, he looks about like that.
I'm deciding if I recognize you without the 10 gallon.
Oh yeah.
But no, I think if he looks like he's pretty comfortable there, just sort of wave an arm. Hello. Are you waiting for? You look very familiar. Oh no.
Oh, I'm sorry. Jackie Princeton. It's a pleasure to meet you.
I'm gonna start looking for any, like, I just start digging through pockets and pulling out pamphlets, and I'm looking for a pen. Okay. I'm a huge fan, actually. And I hand you a pamphlet on like the rearing of cattle and a pen.
All right, a big fan, I see.
Could you sign? I have somewhere in here. There's a tooth from one of your fights. And I'm gonna
have a what?
Continue digging.
I'm sorry. Did you say you have a tooth in there?
It's from one of your opponents a few years ago. It's here somewhere. I would have you sign that. I don't know if your name will fit on it. And I pull out a molar.
What? I don't think I can sign that. And honestly, I don't know
Initials
how
is fine.
sanitary it is to hold on to, but I'll sign this one. And he sort of, does a big scrawl, and I think he's got like a lasso in his signature, right? The Texas Tornado. He does like the top of the T with like a big lasso.
Oh my God.
Yeah. So he's, here you go. Always nice to meet someone who appreciates sport.
My brothers are also boxers, and she shoves the letter, like she takes it and like shoves it back in, like it's completely forgotten in one of her pockets. We'll find it later at some point. I'm Saoirse, and she just hand covered in ink.
Oh yeah, he'll shake your hand. He's not worried to get dirty. Did you say your brothers are boxers?
Yeah, somewhat. It's not important. Are you here?
Right.
Are you here for a reason? Or are you just here?
Oh, I was invited to this establishment. Were you here as well?
Yes. Now this is odd.
Is it though? I'm sorry. You have me at a loss. I'm not quite sure why you seem. Did something change?
No. I did not think that someone who'd get hit in the head this often would also be familiar. Maybe actually more so. And then she's gone.
She just goes up to the front door.
Yeah, they're just like completely. Now she's on a different track. Train of thought has left the station, and is now trying to figure out if this like person is also someone who has the sight.
Real quick question: all your pamphlets in your pockets, are they all written by you?
No. They're from everywhere.
Okay, you're like one of those tourism stands in a hotel.
Kind of, yeah. Whenever somebody hands you a piece of paper and you're too nice to say no, another pocket.
Yes. Okay. Perfect. All right.
Yeah, she's gone, and then but just train has left the station. You are not on it, apparently.
Yeah, he'll put out his cigar and follow suit.
Just wait.
Seems like a sufficiently awkward time for us to arrive.
Sure. So you guys, the cab pulls right up front, lets you out, and you see the two of them are kind of standing on the stoop of the house.
Well, if it isn't Jackie fucking Tornado Fisty Man.
Do you know that man?
Yeah, I bet on him a couple times. He is a little bit more distinguishable by his famous pose, which is laying out on the ground, passed out. But I've lost a couple pounds to him, so I'm not bitter.
That's going to be a problem.
Nah, it's not. I'm just here to serve you. So whatever malicious and murderous intention deep within my soul, I'm gonna push it down and not deal with it till I have some time. Yeah.
All right. No murdering on the clock.
All right. So I didn't know there was going to be more to that, but all right.
Nope. Full stop.
Yeah. Okay. No murdering on the clock.
One
That's
rule.
That's
no murdering on the clock.
So who's going to knock on the door first?
I think Sean looks like she's going to knock on the door, but she just puts a hand on the door and is like, "Good morning, Rose. Are you feeling awake yet?" And just like says hello to the house.
Okay.
None of us know how to interact with property.
Yeah. Hey, Sean, you're doing that. You're doing it in public again. Maybe wait till you're inside the house before you start this mess. I don't know.
Listen, if they're here, they're going to see something weird. Sooner or later.
Does Sean have an honorific like madam or?
I don't think so.
It's just Sean.
Yeah.
So he sort of tips his hat. And he's like, Sean, it's a pleasure to see you here.
Hey, that's Lady Sean to you.
I
And-
see your friend is along for the ride again.
Servant.
Oh,
And she kind of takes it and looks at you. Mr. Princeton, was it?
yeah, that's right.
Ah, yes. I do believe we've met.
Oh, we run in similar circles.
All right.
Saoirse has tuned in at this point with a, you would need a large wheelbarrow. Oh, hello.
What the?
Oh, Sean. This makes sense.
Yes, of course you would be here.
And the demon.
Diablo.
What?
Demon.
Not technically a demon.
Named after one.
Yes.
Got it.
Okay, he. Like, geez.
Am I wrong?
Anyone that's
Oh,
actively
Diablo means
standing,
devil.
Yeah.
anyone that's actively standing on the stoop, you can all just make a straight empathy check.
Okay.
So all of us, oh yeah, we have a game to play.
Straight empathy.
Just empathy.
Just empathy, yeah.
I don't have that.
And
you
it's
have to
just
have-
sixes, yeah.
I got one success.
Just
Okay.
the one die or as many die as we
Well,
have to
as many
find
dice as you
hits?
have in empathy, you get to roll.
0
So if it's
successes.
one- That's fine.
I have a 5, but I don't trust my dice.
But you get to roll 5 dice. That's
I have
pretty
a
good
5 in
odds.
empathy. That's writers. And then our successes are anything that is a
6. You just need
just
a
a
6.
6. Sorry, I'm getting this confused with the other games. 4 successes.
Okay. So if you got a success at all, you get the feeling that you're most welcome. You just get this kind of warmth, like the feeling of coming in out of a cold, icy rainstorm to a house that's already got the heater running, and you don't have to wait to warm up. You just step right in, and almost like the steam of your morning just evaporates off of you, and you're just like, oh, how nice. And you get, with your many successes, you get the feeling that you are absolutely being observed. You don't see anyone, but you, like, again, it's still this warm, welcoming feeling, and you're standing there, and the doorknob turns, and it slowly opens, and standing on the other side of the door, there's a gentleman. He's got just the little Captain Picard fringe of hair, and he's in a full butler's livery. And he opens the door and he goes, "Welcome. I'm glad that you are all prompt. Please do come inside." And he kind of takes several steps back. And as soon as the door opens enough and he steps out of the way, the inside of the house looks great. Like, the floors are clean, polished tiles in the entryway. You know, that classic, like, black and white checkerboard sort of flooring. There's a big mahogany table just in from the door that's
That's a
got
power move.
it's got a big vase on it with fresh flowers. And you know, you do see, like I mentioned in the last night's description, you do see that overhead there is a huge gas chandelier that is lit. And
Uh,
he kind of gestures for you all to come inside.
I'd step inside, and when you like enter a new space, you like breathe it, like you take a big breath and
Hmm?
inhale. Do I sneeze?
Um, let's be very clear here.
Hmm.
You're not allergic to the supernatural. You're allergic to Vaesen in particular,
Yes,
right?
I think it would be a pain in the ass otherwise.
So, no. You kind of step
Oh,
in, you take a breath, and you get this sort of warm smell of leather and sandalwood, like everything, like, the table is super well polished. It like you're stepping into, in your mind's eye, the smell that would be in one of those old British gentlemen's clubs that's been there since the 1500s and membership is passed down from father to son.
excellent.
That kind of place.
Excellent.
So it's that just the warm, traditionally masculine sense of the house.
Excellent. I love this.
Yeah, I'm gonna put my gun away. It kind of like popped off for a second there with this like warm and inviting feeling because that just makes Diablo not feel good. But looking at this butler guy, game recognizes game, and so he's like looking around and he kind of like gives him a little fist pound, like, "You good? Did you do this all last night?"
Oh no, sir. I have been maintaining the house for quite a while.
What's your technique here? I like to use lemon.
I generally use wood soap
Ooh.
and a lot of elbow grease.
You hear that, Lady Sean? I want some wood soap. All right, next time we go to the grocery store, I'm gonna get that good stuff. All right, no more of that mixing lemon with water shit, okay? This is high quality stuff. We gotta be high quality like this. This is good. This is nice.
She's just like kind of vaguely nodding, like yes, yes, wood soap, like making a loop around the foyer to check the
Okay.
house out.
Um, uh, I mean, the quick shorthand for what this foyer looks like is a lot like the house from Clue, right? It's a big grand staircase behind this table, and there's doors that have pocket sliding doors that are closed leading off of the way. And the butler, he then turns, um and then he kind of looks back and he realizes that none of you brought baggage. um and he goes, if you decide to send for your things, please have it delivered to the rear entrance of the home.
Are we supposed to live here?
There's a rear entrance.
You are certainly welcome. I have prepared rooms for you,
All right.
and
I'll
I
have to
was
check out.
informed that you would all need access to our available facilities.
And what would those be?
And then he takes a few steps over to one of those double doors and pulls it open and reveals a great library. Right?
Yeah, Saoirse's gone.
It's fully 2 stories with a spiral staircase in the corner to a walk around balcony up top and those rolling ladders to access all the bookshelves.
Yeah, there's like an involuntary sound, and then just like she's gone. Bye.
There's a few couches in sort of a conversation circle. There's one of those pedestals with a giant tome on it that you can't tell from a distance what the tome is. But then there's like some glass cases with artifact looking things inside, and
Oh.
the there's a fire already going in a fireplace off to one side, and right behind the sort of conversation area there's one of those giant globes, right? The top is open and it's a bar inside, so you can fix a drink if you'd like. And even just walking into the room, the first kind of few books that you see, it's a collection of tomes on all sorts of topics. And this library will help you if you need to investigate some clues. If you use the library, it will help you try and figure out types of Vaesen that you might be going after, or researching areas of the country or all things like that. Basically, whatever you might need, if you come here to do some research, you're going to get bonuses.
Hey,
this is
Butler.
Mm-hmm. Yes, sir.
How many
Hawkins, sir.
Hawkins? How many smiling, bright-eyed faces have passed through these doors, and how many of them are in the backyard, 10 feet under?
Well, sir, we haven't lost anyone in the home for quite some time, if that is your implication.
Is that
It
because it's
is.
been asleep?
Yes.
It's a house. What? Oh my God.
We have not had residents in quite some time either.
This is good. I can stay here. And like clearly Saoirse is referring to the library. She's not referring to the house in general. Like, I live here now.
Perhaps
Alright.
you would also find it useful if you were to need a place to store your firearm or rearm yourselves. And then he walks across the library and he opens up this is like a big wooden door with like big iron bands on it. Not like a dungeon door, but nice, well finished and set into sort of a gothic shape doorway. And he opens up that door after he takes a key out of his waistcoat and unlocks the door and opens it. And inside there's a variety of weapons. From up against one corner, there's like a halberd and some swords in a rack, and then along the back wall there's a glass cabinet that has some looks like shotguns and hunting rifles. And then there's
Alright.
pull-out drawers underneath that he kind of pulls one out and gestures, and there's several other handguns of varying ages. Nothing super modern. There's nothing in there that's like really anything from the last decade is not in there. But before that, pretty much whatever. There's probably a cult peacemaker in there, and several things that are not quite up to date, but still a perfectly serviceable firearm, including like 1911 pistols and that kind of stuff.
I think Jackie goes over and finds the like set of knuckle dusters
Sure.
and like hefts them. He's like, all right, yeah, that'll do.
And this, you can get more ammunition. You can, make repairs on a weapon that has malfunctioned. Anything like that could happen in this little armory.
Useful.
And outside, there's out of the other side of this little armory, there's another door that he opens, and you see that there's like a long, looks almost like an alleyway, but down at the end there's a pile of hay with targets on it. And he says, please, if you decide to do any firearms practice, please do it during the day. We wouldn't want to disturb the neighbors.
Yeah, of course not.
Yeah, that makes sense. Say, Diablo.
What's up?
I mean, I didn't realize when I showed up here today that this was supposed to be some sort of like live-in position.
Mm-hmm.
I'm sensing a little bit of hostility. Is that going to be an issue?
Nah, I don't think it will be.
All right.
But I'm here for one reason, right? And that's her.
Well,
You
of course.
mess with that reason in any way, I swear to the God that is buried beneath the sand, I will unmake you. So as long as you don't come between us, that's fine. You're fine. I think we could even be friends.
How big is Diablo? Like how tall?
He's like 5'10".
Okay.
He's a short
You sure?
beefcake.
Yeah. You sure are intense, but I do like your dedication. I think we can be okay.
Yeah,
Uh,
I think so too.
so she's just like floated from the library to the armory and is looking at like a distance rifle. Like, you're both very pretty. Just you're ruining the majesty of this place. And goes back to looking at the rifle.
Hawkins turns and he walks back and he goes, "Would anyone like any refreshments? Tea, perhaps? Something stronger to kick off the morning?"
He would be perfect.
Yeah, I'll get her tea. Okay, let's just show me where the kitchen is.
"Certainly, sir."
All right, thanks.
And he takes you back out to the main hall and then towards the back. And you walk into a huge kitchen, right? Clearly designed to be feeding like giant parties, that kind of thing. But nobody's in the kitchen. Like there's not a cook. With a house this big, you kind of expect to see other staff folk, but you don't see anyone. And he goes over and turns on a big, like 16 burner stove and sets a teapot on it to heat. And then gets out a tray and a selection of teas and a little pitcher of cream and he pulls a lemon out of an ice box and slices it up and lays it on the tray, and he's kind of pointing to these things as he's doing each step to be like, if you need anything, you're welcome. We have a standard delivery that will arrive from the market, but I could add anything you need to it.
Who's paying your salary?
Oh, I am in the employ of the society.
And why are you in the society? Why is this important to you? You could probably find a safer job elsewhere.
Well, indeed, I am not an investigator. The most risks are assumed by those that go to seek out the problems in our world. I just try to keep the home fires burning, as they say.
Well, if we're gonna go out and step in crap, I'll make sure it doesn't get wiped up on your rug.
I would appreciate that, sir. And he kind of turns and he goes over to the edge, like there's like a back door into the kitchen that comes from outside, like probably deliveries come there, that kind of a thing. And he picks up this wrought iron looking thing that's about waist high, and he carries it over and so if you'd be so kind as to place this on the stoop, I would greatly appreciate it. He gestures to it, and you look at it. You've seen these before. It's a boot scraper, right? Or since you mentioned stepping in mud, if you would be so kind as to remove any mud that you might bring, I would appreciate that extra effort.
We'll do our best to do so.
Thank you, sir.
He'll take the little iron thing and the tea out.
After Diablo leaves, Jackie walks over to Saoirse. So I'm pretty, eh?
Saoirse has wandered in and is still holding like the Springfield 1903, I think. Like she's still holding a rifle from the other room. She has forgotten she's holding it. Yes, I guess so. You're very symmetrical.
I guess that's a
Is there
compliment.
she has no idea how she got in this room. She's been very distracted. Oh. Is there coffee?
Oh, I would love coffee.
How much time have either of you spent in a very wealthy home?
Almost none.
All right. So you probably don't know that there's like a velvet pull cord in the corner that you could ring.
No, that's not a thing that people do. And also, again, Saoirse's been like in and out of like happy dissociation for the last like
Sure.
20 minutes.
I think Sean has been picking out a pistol from the collection at the armory. And when she's made her selection, kind of wanders back over to these two, sort of just standing about going, I wish I had some coffee, and just looks at them and pulls the velvet rope.
Um,
And
Go ahead.
don't do that. That looks like it looks like you're gonna tear something down. Like, oh god.
So you don't actually hear the bell associated with it, but it's safe to assume that you have activated the mechanism because in comes Diablo with the tray of tea, and no sooner does he get in the door than Hawkins is standing at the door, and he goes, "Yes. Is there anything else I could help with?"
Could we get my friends some coffee as well?
Oh, indeed. It'll
Okay,
take one
for
moment.
myself as well.
I will be brewing it fresh. So just a moment and I shall return. Let's see. You all could do a logic vigilance check.
Sure, I'm probably
Okay.
good at that.
Can
while you're
I
rolling-
choose to fail?
Well, you can choose not to roll. That's always fine.
No.
No, actually, logic's a decent skill I have. Hold on.
Okay.
Nope.
I did not get any success.
Zero, nothing.
Got one success on this.
One success. All right.
Too busy drinking some tea.
So you notice, like, Hawkins is wearing very, polished shoes. And you don't hear him walking.
It's rude
Like, when
to
he turns and
ask.
walks away, he
You can't
just
just ask people if they're ghosts.
walks away.
Right? Like lean in and sniff him really hard.
Well, and none of you have gotten anything but that sense of welcome and excitement about the
Yes.
place, or him. He seems truly happy to have someone to take care of.
However, is there a kitchen? There's a kitchen here. Obviously.
Yeah.
We're in it.
Well, no, you're
Social-
not there.
No. Good point. Can I follow Hawkins to the kitchen? Is that weird? It is weird, but can I do it anyway?
Yes, you certainly could. So you get out to the hall and you see him going through a doorway at the back of the main hall.
Does the house have anything else in it? Not rooms, but things living in it.
Well, he kind of turns back over his shoulder before the door closes, and he goes, "No, ma'am. No one else is in residence at the current time."
Nothing.
Well, there may be some vermin that I have not caught yet in the basement or in the attics.
Not even local spirits?
Oh, definitely not, ma'am.
Well, that's a shame.
The house has long been protected by the society.
Oh. You might find you do less work if you've got a brownie.
We wouldn't take any such risk here. All it takes is one ill intent to make off with a priceless tome or artifact.
Excellent. I understand. Apropos of nothing then, could I get a bowl of milk? For no
Bowl of
reason in particular.
Milk.
Yes.
Certainly.
Excellent.
And he goes and disappears. Are you gonna follow him into the kitchen, or?
Yeah, well, I was gonna just get it myself, but I realized I could have asked for it, which is not any less suspicious, to be honest.
Okay. So you step in, and you see this gorgeous kitchen, right? If you were a chef of the day, you'd be very excited to work here. And he goes over, and there's an ice box in the corner, and he opens it up and pulls out a glass bottle of milk and walks over and sets it on the big butcher block counter and fetches a bowl and pours milk in the bowl for you, and then turns on the stove again and sets on a kettle with water in it to boil for coffee. And he turns and presents the bowl. He's like, "Would you like a tray, ma'am?"
Oh no, this is good. And I'll just take it and walk back to the back door and leave it outside.
Okay. So, like, you get over to the back door and you open it, and the back steps, there's been someone up and down the back steps pretty recently, but they're pretty dirty. Like, that's how you can tell someone's been walking up and down recently, because there's dust and some mud, and some of that ivy is kind of grown up the side of the steps and is intruding onto the actual walkway a little bit. So some of those ivy fronds are smashed where someone hiked up here.
Odd. I'm just leaving it out somewhere where it's going to be out of the way, but if anything wants to come by, it can from there. Listen, you got to get good with the locals.
And like when you set it down and turn back around, he's kind of looking at you and he goes, "Are you a fan of cats, ma'am?"
That too, yes.
Ah, yes.
Hold on, speaking of.
That could not have been better timed.
That was so good.
Oh no, man.
How did you do that? So back in the library with the tea, is there anything anybody else wants to do in here while Hawkins is not in the room?
Sorry, tiny cat empress.
It was perfect.
I think Sean is just kind of making use of the time in the library, drinking her tea and kind of seeing what the probably looking for specifically reference on Vaesen, just to see kind of what they have here.
Sure. And you find like a significant number of books that have mentions of various types that you've heard of, or various famous supernatural occurrences,
Mm-hmm.
There's even one of those racks that has like the newspapers on the wooden spools, that
Ooh.
kind of thing. It has newspapers, but they're all from like the early 1900s. They haven't been
Okay.
updated.
So I'll
But
grab
everyone
a few
has some kind of event, right,
Mm.
that they're talking about.
I'll grab a stack of like a couple of the books, a couple of the newspapers, and she's like drinking tea with one hand and got an armful of reading material under the other.
Yeah, I think Diablo is going to go over in thinking back upon that night when that stone box just kind of opened up into grayed corpse-like hands came out of it and slowly pushed the door open. It was the first time he saw the smiling man. He's going to look through the book, seeing if anything can point as to what this thing is.
Oh, all right. That's a specific request. So
Mm.
let's do
I'm all smiles for it.
logic investigation.
Yay!
Or wait, there should be something different, right? Hold on.
I should throw a nerd at this.
The nerd's busy.
I know, all the nerds are busy. I need a nerd. Gosh darn it.
Yeah, let's stick with logic investigation for now.
Okay. One success.
Okay. You find an account of, like, it's actually in a little section that has like a copy of Alice in Wonderland, right? And a couple other instances of smiling things, right? Almost like the library is sorted by like weird occurrences and types. Um, but you find a book that does seem to talk about the Gray Man, and um, it has some basic information there, like only appears at night, likes to hide in dark places, doesn't like to confront people directly unless he's pretty sure that he could overpower them, that kind of thing. And then one more detail. Why don't you add that you find in the book?
I would say the final detail is whoever's connected to the box when it kind of slips out and rests upon the head of someone who is tied down and unconscious. The stomach opens up to consume the head, which gives regenerative properties to whoever owns said box.
I like it. Cool. So there's an
Yep.
advantage too.
I'm looking at this like, okay. Well, put it back. Just think. Let's sit down.
All right. Was there anything else you wanted to do in the kitchen before you come back to the library?
Is there, I guess, when I ran back to the like back steps, is there like a garden or anything back there?
There is. It looks like
Yay.
there's an outdoor sort of garden space. There's some mature trees, and the garden space does not look well tended at all. Like it has kind of gone to whatever a feral garden in London would look like. It's just overgrown. You know, the grass is high enough that there could be a tiger sleeping in there, and you probably wouldn't notice it. The the trees, clearly seasons have passed and their leaves have fallen and turned into mulch all on their own. And
I guess if Hawkins is around, why hasn't this gotten looked at?
I'm afraid I only care for the inside of the house, Mum. We'll have to arrange for a gardener now that there are residents again.
Oh, I can do it. It's fine. And Saoirse looks like she's getting ready to just deal with the garden. Again, does not remember why she's here. This is now why we're here.
And you hear the pot boil, and he goes over and he makes coffee and puts it on another silver tray and brings it out to the library. And he goes, "Ma'am, if you'll excuse me, I shall deliver the coffee." Or you wanted the coffee also?
Oh, coffee would be great. Thank you.
Yes.
How did you know?
So he lets you take a cup from the tray, and then he says, "I will deliver the rest to the library. One moment."
Wonderful.
And he walks, and as soon as he sort of gets to the library door with the coffee, it smells great, by the way. It's quality coffee and seems fresh. He brings it in, he sets it on the table in the sort of conversation area of the library. And he says, "Your coffee." And then he's just sort of straightening back up, and there's like a big gong noise out in the hall. He goes, "Oh, excuse me. I must answer the door." And he walks over, and you can see him out the door of the library, and he goes over the door and he opens it and has a quiet conversation with someone that you can't hear from where you are. And he takes a little like a calling card and then a little envelope from someone, and he kind of nods his head and closes the door, and he turns around and comes back over. You will take note that the outside of the door didn't have a doorbell. It only had the rose thorn knocker on it. And you didn't hear any knocking, you just heard this gong noise. But he returns to the library and he goes, well, I believe someone has already determined that we are open for business. I expected you to have a little more time to settle in. And he kind of holds out this letter in one hand and card in the other to anybody in the library, because he's not quite sure if there's a leader yet.
Sean kind of juggles her tea and coffee and books and puts the tea on top of the books and takes the the letter from
There's
it.
like an
kind of...
imperceptible frown on Hawkins' face when he sees you set a teacup down on a book.
It's on the sturdiest looking one. It's not on the newspaper.
It doesn't look at all like it's about to tilt over any. It's very well set, but it's still, it's that level of butler shade that only a very experienced one could give.
And she'll kind of shake out the letter and take a look at it.
All right.
I'll snag the card from his other hand.
Okay. And then he doesn't keep standing there holding his hands out weirdly. And he takes a step back. So the card is for a John Charles Walsham Wraith. And his address is the British Broadcasting Corporation, which you all have heard of by this point. It is not actually state-sponsored yet. So it's not been nationalized or given a, what is it, royal charter, I think they call it. It is the company, however, that just recently did the first broadcast here in the UK. And they currently do about 4 hours of radio programming per day. Some music, some entertainment shows, that kind of thing. And the address of their building. And then the letter, it's official letterhead. And it's, to members of the society, we seem to have a situation that might be able to benefit from those of your talents. If you would please call upon me at your convenience, our corporation would be greatly appreciative of any efforts that you could have to solve some of these mysterious goings-on. And then it's signed, and then it has the, secretary initials at the bottom, like who typed it and typed for who, all that stuff at the bottom.
Well, it looks pretty intriguing, and she'll hand it to Jackie for his appraisal. Hawkins, I think I'll need to be shown to my room. I seem to have acquired quite a bit of reading material. Picks up tea, starts drinking it.
Absolutely, Mum. Would you like me to carry your selections for you?
I got that. All right.
Very good, sir.
Yeah.
And he turns around smartly and walks out into the main hall and gestures at the sort of grand staircase.
Get her stuff.
And begins to ascend as you guys follow him up. If you're following him up, or you were just going to be like, yeah, go show me my room.
Yeah, go show the books my room. No, I'd like to see the rooms, please.
Certainly. And he takes you upstairs, and it's sort of, the house is sort of split into wings on this next floor up, right? And he leads you down one of the wings, and he the first door he opens up. He goes, all of the rooms are very similar, but I'll show you all 4, and you can make a selection, as you seem to be the first that has wanted to see one. I will leave that decision to you. And he opens up 4 doors that are sort of in a little cluster. There's a few more down the hall before you get to the end of the building. But each one, it's got a beautiful fireplace, a big 4-poster bed. There's some furniture in the room, and each one has a roll-top desk in the corner and a place to sit. All of the windows have the shades drawn, but there's light in the room from the fire and from gas lights along the walls. And each one sort of has a different color theme to it. There's sort of a reddish burgundy room. There's sort of a dark blue sort of room. And there's sort of a bright yellow sort of room with lighter colored wood furniture. And then one has just like emerald green bedding and upholstery on some big overstuffed chairs, that kind of thing. And there's a lot less wood in that room. It's more padded, I guess, for lack of a better term. Not in a way that is like, oh, we expect a person in there to try and hurt themselves, but in the way that like all the furniture in there seems to be very stuffed.
What's the blue one like?
It's, you'd almost be able to call it like a nautical theme, right? Like, it's, it has, there's a big ship in the bottle above the mantelpiece, and the furniture looks like it's teak, and
gotcha.
That kind of design.
Does the green one overlook the backyard with the trees and whatnot, the vegetation?
Let's find out. No, the green room looks out onto the front street.
Ooh, good for spying. Okay. I'm going to take the green room.
Okay.
All right, we'll take the green room.
And he kind of looks at you and goes, "Sir?"
What?
And gestures to the other rooms.
No, I like to stay around just in case she needs me.
My apologies.
No, it's okay.
I will make sure that extra linens are brought up.
Thank you. And he's gonna like move forward and just kind of like look under the bed, see what the situation is like.
While he's looking under the bed, Sean is like, he doesn't like to be alone.
Very good, ma'am. Clearly, you can kind of tell that Hawkins thinks that you're a thing. And he's a little judgy about it, but
like John Carpenter's The Thing?
No, that's not what he's thinking. He's thinking that you two are an item of some kind, and he doesn't want to be involved in that at all. But he's like, oh, very good, and he steps out of the room. And...
hold on. I want to clarify something. I sleep under the bed. Sean is available and doesn't see class or social ladder stuff. So if you are interested,
make
it known to her, because she'll get sucked up in her books and everything, and she won't do any like communication or social stuff. It's just best to be up front, and I could schedule you guys a lovely picnic date if you want. Set everything up and everything.
Oh no, sir. No, not at all. I appreciate your candidness. Do you require additional blankets and bedding for beneath the bed, as it were?
A blanket would be great. But honestly, I grew up in a church, so I'm used to having my back just on a hard surface. Just staring into the dark underneath the bed.
However you are most comfortable, sir.
Thank you. Yeah. And once again, She's single. So
Well, I will take note, sir.
Just
If any
continues
gentlemen
putting my books
callers
away.
come, I will certainly inform you promptly.
excellent. And make sure they know that, because I'm trying to get her hitched. So
I will leave it to you to inform them of your sleeping arrangements, however. And he
Okay.
kind of turns and walks out of the room.
Sean, how do you think that went? Was that weird?
It was definitely weird.
Okay. I need to get better about explaining this in a not weird way. Any case, I'm gonna go make myself comfortable, and he
Don't
just like
think there is one.
slips under the bed. Feel what we got here.
And each room does have its own bathroom attached. They're all en suites, as it were. But in the style of the time, they're all like big clawfoot tubs with the shower and then the shower curtain around it. Kind of a setup. And excuse me 1 second. I'll be right back.
Bye.
GM's gone.
Yeah, what
Time for
shenanigans are we
chaos.
getting into?
Time for chaos.
Oh,
no.
heck yeah. Yeah, I mean, I think this wherever we're going to what, that cable company, the beginnings of Comcast here.
You're not incorrect.
We could burn it. We can end this now.
It's the beginning of broadcast. I don't.
Mm-hmm.
Again, gonna go frantically look up the history of British broadcast radio. This is good. This is a good.
But there's gonna
research
be a
game.
lot of people with money. Sean.
They should give me a radio show. I'm just saying.
I forget we
No.
get paid.
Getting married
Yeah.
to
I
one
can-
of these radio people.
Absolutely not. I could
What?
conjure ghosts live over the airwaves.
I don't know that would. Sorry.
Yeah.
Well,
I-
unalive over the airwaves.
No, it's more of a veracity thing. How do you? All right.
Hearing is believing
Well,
in
how
the
do you
time of radio.
how do you confirm that they're dead
Yeah, it's
via
that.
the radio? You just be like, yeah, these people dead, and they're like, yeah, we're dead. And
You
people
can
are
tell
like,
by the ghostly, like, woo.
Ah, yes.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
That's how we know Hawkins isn't a ghost.
uh-huh.
Yeah, he doesn't
Yeah.
go woo.
Cut to some dude with a sheet of aluminum, like hiding behind a curtain.
Yes,
Ah, yes. He's not. He can't be a ghost. He's not wearing a sheet.
obviously.
Mhm.
A water can onto some rocks next to a microphone.
Heck yeah.
So Jackie actually gets kind of excited when he sees the name on the card. I think everybody else left. Is he alone? Is
I'm in the
Saoirse still
garden
there?
again. You've just
Yeah.
lost
Oh, yeah.
Saoirse again.
She's gone out to the
Yep.
So you're standing in the library on your own.
Yeah.
With
Is
your
there
coffee.
a phone in this place? Do I see a phone in the?
You do not.
Okay. All right.
I think after a couple minutes, Sean probably comes down and through with she's heading towards the kitchen with just like a bunch of seaweed in her hands. And she's like, "What do you make
Okay.
of the letter?" And walking towards the back.
Well, I tell you, I'm pretty
Wait.
excited to go meet a radio man.
This is a mystery to me, and I need to know where did the seaweed
What do
come
you-
from?
What
Brought it
do you
with her.
have there?
Oh,
Oh, it's-
very good.
Oh, it's seaweed. You have to put it in the back kitchen to keep away the evil spirits.
Oh,
The
all
house
right.
needs a bit of protection. She's just waking up.
The house?
Yes, obviously.
All right. I mean, I never heard it phrased that way, but yeah, I guess they just open it up. But no, I have to. I'm pretty excited. Access to a radio broadcast person like this, I could be one of the first boxing matches radio broadcast in London.
That's true.
That has
mean,
not happened yet.
They're behind the times. I mean, 2 years ago they were broadcasting boxing matches in Pittsburgh.
Well, I think they should get on with it, huh?
I think so.
I love that I have
Yeah.
coaxed you into jumping down the rabbit hole of the history of broadcasting now, like I went down when I was doing prep.
You have to understand there is
Mhm.
no historical prompt we're not going to start searching for as soon as you say
Mhm.
it.
I actually looked it up, and it's the first like sporting event period was a boxing match broadcast in 1921. Yeah, they're behind the times. I think we can really make something happen here.
I agree, and I think whatever mystery it is should be very interesting. So,
Oh, right, and whatever we're supposed to do for the rose stuff.
yes, obviously.
Yeah, Diablo's gonna go over to Sheehy, like outside, and reel her back in.
Fully just has been weeding. There is just now a pile of weeds on the just a pile growing, and Saoirse, who's dressed fairly casual, had dressed fairly casually, his sleeves rolled up, and just doing some gardening. Wholesome ass gardening. It's a nice house. We should treat it nicely.
What are you doing?
Gardening.
Why?
Because that house needed tending. It's just waking up.
Are you medium too? Like, we had mutual respect before, but that might come into question right here now based on the answer.
I don't think of myself as I'm a writer. That's how I know Sean. We've worked together before. I'm just not a medium. That's and I just go back to gardening. Just go back to weeding.
I think what you should do is leave the garden alone, you know? It's right now in its, I guess, chaos. It's beautiful, right? It's not held down. It's not chained up. Civilization isn't picking at its roots or its edges. And here you come, right when it's waking up, starting to peel back its form, making everything civilized in order.
Do you not brush your hair in the morning or wash your face? Don't you want to look good when you see other people? And she just keeps pulling up. This place
That's a
needs
decision. That's a decision I make for myself. You're making it for the house and its garden.
Rose House, would you like me to stop gardening? Weeding.
I don't think that's an appropriate question. I think, Rose House, if you are angry with this here person, I pray in the nights when she's sleeping that you visit her with nightmares so that her fingernails break upon the wood that supports her in her sleep.
What time is it right now?
I mean, it's like 9:30, maybe.
It's been 30 minutes.
Yeah.
30 minutes. And you're cursing me.
I mean, there we go. That's how you ask a house if it's okay to garden or not.
Weird time to do this. Can I pull out a pamphlet?
Absolutely.
I have one talent that is gonna be useful right now. I'm gonna waste it right now.
Oh, all right.
Go,
We're
Diablo.
doing this.
You
All
have
right.
an anti-cursed little thing? What are you throwing at me?
No, I'm gonna channel the house, and we're gonna get down to the bottom of whether this house wants to be guarded. We can do not.
Yeah, let's do it.
All right. So it's time for inspiration roll.
Oh my god.
I believe in you.
Just inspiration?
No, empathy and inspiration.
Oh, there we go. I need more dice. Hold on. 5, 6. All right, let's do this. Once a session, for people. Once a session, I can, I guess, like just channel a spirit to get answers for whatever we're working on. I know there's an actual mystery happening, but this is more important.
This is the mystery. Will
I feel like
this
the
house
house is on
kill
my
us?
I feel like the house is on my side here. Oh, that was so many failures.
Well, tell me they're all fails. Tell me they're all
they're-
fails.
They're not.
No!
I rolled 8 dice and I got 3 successes.
Okay.
That's good.
It's below average.
Yeah, but the fun part for me happens when they're all fails.
It's true. What a weird way to fail. It's like, I just needed the house to tell me if it wanted to look pretty. Fuck you.
What I'm gonna do is I'm gonna make like a D66 chart of like personality changes that might happen.
I'm now very disappointed I didn't fail.
Oh no,
Yeah.
because there's gonna be some
Re-roll
bad
them.
things that could happen for sure. So
I will say this is average luck for me.
So specifically, you're concentrating on the spirit of the house and if it approves of beautification efforts.
I guess
And-
you know how I don't even know how to describe this. It's the Saoirse just sort of does the medium equivalent of like, oh yeah, I'll fucking show you, and then just like pulls out the piece of paper.
I got a
and, like,
pamphlet.
yeah.
What?
Well, yeah. So
And just like throws the door open for the house, whatever.
Okay.
Like this isn't a specific,
Oh,
but
very
it
good,
is
very good.
in pursuit of. Are you down?
But you're specifically aimed at the house.
Yeah.
Cool. So like she pulls out the pamphlet and like sets it down on the flagstone next to her and pulls out a pen and like
just crouches down to start writing.
holds the pen in her hand and just rests it on the side of the pamphlet, and then like eyes roll back, right? And just starts at first it's like starts sketching the garden, right? And like along all the walls of the garden, you now that you're out here, I'll give a little more description. There's like 6 foot high, just twined together roses along all the walls, right? And in your little sketch, they're all blooming and beautiful. They're not at the moment, in real life, but like it's clearly like a happy sketch that comes out on the paper, and then it's you go on to start writing a sentence like, "You are most welcome here. I shall do my best to protect you. Please don't concern yourself with anything in the house. I have been here for a long time, and I shall serve the society and keep you safe." And then the penmanship changes, right? So like this was sort of like a traditional flowing scrawl, right?
Comic Sans, yeah.
No, like traditional script, like almost to calligraphy, right? But not quite. And then it changes into sort of a block, like engineering print, you know, like people that do draft blueprints and stuff use that sort of block printing. And it says, "Leave me land alone." And then you kind of wake up and shake your head because wait, yeah, okay, you had 3 successes, right?
Yeah, 3.
Cool. So that's sort of 3
8.
thoughts.
Well, I feel like I didn't technically prove my point. Like I tried to I was like, well, it makes me happy. Also, this is like the pamphlet is definitely like it's something really inane, like a better it's an advertisement for women's girdles, the modern girdle, where all this is written on.
Is it like on sale or something? Cause okay.
No, it's definitely like a 3-year-old pamphlet.
Oh god.
A 3-year-old ad.
Yeah, Diablo puts his gun away when you wake up, just like.
Okay, well, I was half right. This is new. The house is fine with it. See, it says it wasn't a no. Completely. The bottom part was we can ignore it. We should not ignore that. We could ignore it.
I think this is like, depression. You can ignore it for as long as you want, but in the end, it's going to come for you.
All right, I'll go. Looking a little dejected, just like, oh, okay. I'll go inside.
Yeah, come on. Let's go inside. Let's get you some tea.
Don't want tea. I want
You come back in from through the kitchen.
Yeah.
She
Why
goes,
do you have seaweed?
Oh, yeah.
To keep away the evil spirits, obviously.
Well, what's that going to do?
It keeps them away.
No,
Were you gardening?
yes. We already have milk out there. We don't need seaweed.
Did you put the twigs in the seed beds to protect the plants? The
Yes,
crops?
that's fine. I don't know the seaweed.
You put it in. You got to keep it in the back kitchen. Hang it up, and the evil spirits see it, and they go back into the sea.
There's already rosemary. You know what? The sea.
The sea. You know, the big thing with water in it.
I think there's a globe here we can show you.
It's not that. It's more of a geographical concern.
You think spirits are concerned with the geography?
It's fine. The Welsh are weird. And Saoirse very confidently puts a horseshoe up over the door.
Oh my gosh.
Like, Hawkins walks into the kitchen and he sees you guys like nailing things up over there. And he's like, where did you even get tools? All right.
It's standard move and procedure.
Well, very good. I will reiterate, the house is quite well protected.
Well, a bit extra can't hurt.
Certainly. Would it be a problem if I enclosed the seaweed in a shadow box or something to mount on the wall? I'd be concerned that deliverymen might mistake it for refuse and pull it down.
I don't see why not.
Very good. I shall arrange for it.
Can you get us a cab so we can go visit this place?
Where are we going?
Wherever the letter wants us to go. These people who've asked us for help.
We've been told to leave the land alone. And I hold up the other the one I've written.
Well, it's a good thing we're just dealing with radios then.
Secret airwaves and everything.
Hawkins turns and he goes, I shall endeavor to flag one for you, sir.
Actually, what time? It's like 9 p.m., right? Or 9 a.m.?
9 a.m. It's like
9:30.
9:30.
Okay, so you
Yeah,
got plenty
9:30,
of
10
time.
a.m., yeah.
Okay.
Certainly get there.
I'm like, God, it's afternoon nap time.
I do want to send for my stuff. This place is great. There's no way she's leaving.
Yeah, I will make arrangements to do the same. I don't probably have as much stuff.
So, he goes over, and off of the main hall, there is, the only way to describe it is a telephone booth, right, built into the wall, but it's just the telephone room. That was probably a coat closet or something at one point, but was converted over when the telephone lines were run through the neighborhood, sometime in the last 20 years. And he goes over and steps in and closes the door, and there's a little circular window so you can see him, and he's holding up it's one of those like talk into it style phones. So he's holding up the phone and he's holding the earpiece up. And then a few moments later, he comes out and says, a driver should be here shortly.
All right.
Thank you, Hawkins.
I'm sorry, where are we going?
And I
the-
pass you the letter.
I in exchange hand you my letter, which has no context. So I just hand you the bra ad.
Thank you.
Oh, broadcasting.
Put it in my pocket.
It's the one that has all of the house notes and the leave the land alone.
Written in your blood, right?
No, just pen.
Pen.
Oh, okay.
Just confusing.
Well, thank you. Are we all ready to go? I didn't. I actually have to pick something up on the way over.
What do you got to pick up?
Well, I'm going to meet something important, so I got to make sure I look the part.
Why?
Well, for appearance sake.
Why?
Sean knows. You've been in society long enough. You got to look the part with these people.
You do. You never get a second chance to make a first impression.
Yeah. Speaking of which, Sean, can I do your makeup? Touch it up real quick.
Absolutely not.
I'm just saying, it's
I'm not even
nice.
wearing any.
Can I?
You just look like that every day.
Yeah. Did you want me to
You
fix
just woke up like this.
up for this appearance, or do you feel confident enough in your wake up look to make the good impression?
She's giving you a look that says stop talking.
Okay. No, that's fair.
I'll go wash my hands. It's not going to help. The bottom half, like Saoirse's like bottom half of her skirt is completely muddy, but whatever. We don't have time to change.
We don't have time to change. And I already got ready to come here.
Yeah. Hey, Princeton.
Sure. Yeah.
You want to exercise in the morning tomorrow?
He sort of looks you up and down. Yeah, we can try that.
Nice. I look forward to it. Let's shoot around like 6 a.m. You and me out in the garden.
All right. I have to say, it's not my first time someone approaching me for so I can show them, where they sit in the hierarchy.
What hierarchy are you talking about?
It's who's the best. It's happens all the time, actually. You get it that it's just byproduct of making a name for yourself. People approach you on the street, they want to prove they're better than you.
I've lost 5 pounds betting on you.
Well, I mean, I've had a couple of losses, but
yeah,
seems like it was a bad week for you. I'm sorry about that.
Bad weeks turn into bad years. So tomorrow morning, you and I, there's not going to be a hierarchy or anything like that. We're going to look at each other as equals, bare under the sunlight. And we're going to improve ourselves, sweaty.
Sean pops back in the room. Did you say you were fighting bear in the morning?
They're bears. I didn't.
Something like that, Lady
Not
Sean.
that kind of bear, Saoirse.
Yeah, it's we're gonna get to know each other and bond in that.
Oh,
yeah.
The other kind of bear. Oh,
I'm not here to judge. Have at it.
You sure are intense. You know that? I like it though. It's good.
Yeah, me too. I gotta live with it though.
You know, I'm not out to get you, right? Like I can like I just feel like your eyes are looking like through me.
No. It's looking right at you. And tomorrow morning, you and I, under the trees out in the back, we'll know each other. No social hierarchy. Just live or die.
I'm gonna lean to Sean. Can he do the thing that Mr. Houdini does, where he gets punched in the stomach very hard?
Oh, he does get punched, yes.
That makes sense.
Yeah, I mean, listen to him talk. He gets punched sometimes.
He's a lot.
He is, but
All right,
he
what-
scares the pants off the society folks, so they don't know what to do with him. Can't say no to him.
You hear a quick double beep outside.
Oh, hey, that's all right. You guys ready? Let's go. Let's do this. This is gonna be fun.
Do y'all mind stopping by? I think it's on the way. Do y'all mind stopping by my place on the way there?
Not at all. What do you need?
Oh, just
Your hat.
Your hat?
yeah.
Excellent. Yes, we have to stop.
I appreciate it. That much obliged. All right, well.
And the driver's happy to take you wherever you want to go. So no problem. You can stop and get your hat. And then, excuse me, he takes you on to, it's a good hat.
It's a great hat.
Oh, we could be
The sides are
twinsies.
disappearing depending on how I'm there.
Oh.
That's funny.
What do you have there?
Mitch, your hat like just defeats the auto green screen.
Totally got
right?
eaten by the back.
Your hat just wrecks it.
It's too strong.
The green is too powerful.
Like I noticed when I took
All
a
right.
sip of a lime bubbly that I have like a transparent beverage.
When he gets back in the car, he's like, "All right, now I'm ready to meet the radio man."
Actually, I'm not going to point out that. Nope. Radio is an audio medium.
No, but I have to meet him. I got to convince him that I'm important enough to put on his show or his broadcast. I don't think he'd call it a show.
He might not. And this is train has left the station again and no one else is on it.
No, going the other way.
Okay. You unless there's any other stops that anybody wants to make. Okay. You guys get to the headquarters of the British Broadcasting Corporation. And it's a perfectly nice looking building. It's got a big clock up top, and on the roof there's a radio tower that you're pretty sure is probably a prop because it's not that big, but it's just there to like let people know what's happening here and create excitement about radio. And you get out of the cab and head on in, and there's a reception area. There's a young man sitting behind the sort of a high table, a counter sort of setup. And he kind of nods his head as you all walk in. And, may I help you?
I sure hope you can. Our associates have been summoned here to speak to Mr. John Charles Walsham Reich.
Oh, indeed.
Yeah.
And
Yes.
who may I say is calling?
I look back at the rest of us.
The Rose Society.
Right. The Rose Society.
Oh, very good. Just a moment. And he turns, and there's a big fancy phone, right? You know, that has lots of chunka buttons to get a hold of other extensions. And you know, he picks up the phone and speaks quietly, and he says, "Oh, just one moment. Someone will be down in just a second." And you know, you kind of look around the lobby, and it's well appointed. It looks like, you know, they're doing well, and they're trying to portray a, you know, it's a new technology, but they're trying to make it look official. You know, they have a well appointed lobby. And a few minutes pass by, and then there's sort of a double door beyond where the receptionist was sitting, and the double doors open, and this woman walks out uh with like the super severely tight bun of hair, you know, like you're worried that it's actually stretching her face because it's done up so well. Um and she comes out, and she kind of nods and says, "Welcome to the BBC. Let me escort you up," and kind of gestures for you to follow her, and she takes you over to an elevator. Um and you get on board, and there's a elevator operator sitting on a little stool next to the buttons, uh who who just reaches up and hits, you know, 6, the top floor. um no, it's not that at all. It's he's got the lever. My bad. So he sits there, and he throws this big Frankenstein knife switch looking lever upward, and the elevator lurches on up. And you then are greeted to sort of an open sitting area right outside the elevator, and across the way there's a handsome man in a nice business suit that's sort of standing in a doorway, and he gestures and says, "Welcome, welcome. Thank you for coming so quickly."
Yeah, let me introduce you to Tornado Wind Princeton, Lady Sean, and Lady Sheehy.
Ah,
That's the
Also,
Texas tornado.
Not a lady, not in the way that a title matters.
Okay, Lady Sean and person named Sheehy.
very good.
It's a pleasure to meet you, sir.
And he does nod his head first towards Sean, and says, "Welcome, my lady. Please, if you and your friends would like to join me in my office, we shall discuss our situation." And you step
Let's
in,
do
and
this.
it's a nice office. It's not what I'd call a lavish office, but it's clearly a man that's actively working. Right? He's not CEO kind of guy that's above actually having papers in his office, you know, that kind of a thing. His desk has some clutter to it, but it seems pretty organized. And um, he's got on one wall, he has a bunch of different models of microphones, right, that have been put up on the wall to look decorative because people are curious about radio broadcasting. And he gestures you in, and he has a small conference table there that you can all take a seat at. And he says, "Would anyone like any refreshments?"
Yeah, Lady Sean would like tea, 2 sugars, a little bit of cream off to the side. She could do that herself. And these 2 folk will take coffee.
Very good. And yourself, sir?
Glass of milk, please.
Glass of milk. How nice. Very, very good. And he kind of gestures to the lady that brought you up, and she goes off to get some beverages. And he takes a seat at the table, and he says, "Well, I very much appreciate you all coming so soon. We've run into some problems expanding our radio network. We've been very successful here, and we've opened up sister stations in Manchester and Newcastle upon Tyne and Birmingham, but we were hoping to open another station out near Liverpool. So I sent my chief engineer, Mr. Eckersley, to oversee building a new broadcast tower across from the city, sort of up on a hill, we found. Radio does best when there's no interference from other geography, you know. And he was supposed to have completed the project over a week ago, but when I last spoke to him on the phone, he said that some strange things have happened. And they're quite behind schedule. They've had to restart the construction once already. It seems, according to him, overnight, they came back to the almost completed tower to find all of the metal girders disassembled and laying in a pile. And the tower had been built again out of wood.
That's very
which
bullshit.
which seems unusual and certainly more than I would expect would be one night's work for a carpenter, but
No, not at
yeah.
all.
Depends on the carpenter. What shape did you say the hill was?
As far as I know, a sort of standard hill shape, and he kind of stands up and walks over to his desk and shuffles some papers, and he comes back with a little map. Well, here's a depiction of the land that we purchased for the broadcast center. We would run wires across to an office down in town, but this would be where the actual signal comes from. And the men are digging a trench for the electrical lines and the transmission lines down into town.
Have they done any digging into the hill itself?
Only a minor bit, you know, the depth to bury a cable, you know, to keep it safe.
You don't. Did you
foot or
check with the
two.
locals before you you chose this hill?
Well, I mean, we bought the land from
Not
an agent.
those locals.
Who did you buy it from?
And he kind of shuffles some more papers, and it says the land agent we used was Richard Keith.
Richard Keith.
Richard Keith.
You don't trust a man with two first names.
Yeah.
Oh,
So,
I see.
to give some clarity to this mystery, you want us to make whatever is preventing you from making money to be silenced, right? That's the optimal goal, no compromise.
Well, or at least determine what might have caused
So the
this.
why, you're content with the why. That would be a job well done as long as you understand why.
Well, we'd prefer to be able to finish setting up our broadcast tower.
Is there another hill you can choose? It sounds like you've angered something that already lives on this one.
Well, there wasn't anyone living out there.
Well,
Yeah,
not to
clearly,
you.
not to you.
Oh, I see. Yes. I again, we didn't have any reports of anything strange.
You probably did. You just didn't recognize it as strange. You ever wake up in the middle of the night, go crawl over to the bathroom, unzip your pants, try to take a leak? You hear a little creaking on the boards, something that suggests maybe a child is awake down the hallway. Then you remember something. You're alone in that house. And so you put it off as maybe groaning from the wind outside. There's stuff like that you just kind of pass on by.
What my associate means to say is that there are some things that you take for granted, but a few, say before, experts Might be able to check out for you, for a small price, and
Well, yes,
perhaps
of course.
a guest spot doing a séance on your broadcast.
Why say? That's an interesting idea.
Have you ever had anyone do a live or unalive séance over the air?
No, perhaps perhaps if we come to an arrangement, you could perform your séance for several people here to participate. That sounds fascinating.
Oh, certainly. I'd be
And then
most pleased.
we can see how that would translate to a radio audience.
I don't know if that's wise. Also, I would carefully choose how you work with Lady Sean, because you're going to see some things. And if you've done something horrible to people, as most people like you have,
He kind of
spirits
looks
like
concerned,
that,
like,
they will come up.
All right.
She's kicking you under the table a little bit, like.
The spirits are kicking me. God,
We're not here to insult the man. Now, if you're looking for something that might be a little more palatable to a wider audience, I don't want to say that a séance isn't, but I happen to be, I don't know if you recognize me, but I happen to be a professional boxer, and I know that London, we're 2 years behind the curve here. The first boxing match was broadcast in Pittsburgh 2 years ago, and I think that with some connections that I have, I could definitely get you your recording equipment into a box, into the ring. You know, we could get this on the radio.
just don't bet on them.
I kick. I also kick him under the table.
I wonder if the sounds of pugilism would translate well.
Oh, the pounding of flesh on flesh.
Yeah, I mean, you'd have to have like an announcer, perhaps, right? Someone to.
Oh, I see.
Sort of describe the action.
A colorful commentator, as it were.
Right.
No wonder our friends in America have already done this.
You know what your friends in America haven't done? The séance.
You are correct. They have not.
You'd be the first.
I would be interested in both of these things. We're always on the lookout for talented programming. And there's still an audience for both things. I'm more of a horse racing fan myself, but there certainly are many people interested in boxing and spiritualism, turns out. So I don't see that either idea would be without merit. But
no, you brought a spirit in and not just another person.
Colorful commentary, obviously.
That's a little bit of the art of the radio, don't you know?
A wee bit of storytelling.
We don't actually have people in our radio dramas out in the rain. We have Foley artists that make sounds and add to the atmosphere of the shows.
Yeah.
Yes, almost exactly. Yes, they are musicians of regular sounds, to give the sense of realism. So I'm certain that we could work something out for some spooky music played on a organ or a harpsichord, perhaps.
It would certainly set the mood.
Saoirse has the same look she had when Xian brought in the seaweed. All right, Brits are weird.
This guy who you sent over to claim this hill, what's his name again?
Is Peter Eckersley.
Where does his family live? Is he married? Does he have kids?
Well, I do believe he does. Yes.
They live here in London.
Certainly, but his family's not with him there in Liverpool.
No, that's fine. It's just better to get an idea of the type of person you sent. Sometimes these things are connected to the individual. Hauntings sometimes follow a person.
And a map of the location.
Well, certainly, yes, we could provide that as well. As for your compensation, um, if we can get our broadcast up and running in the next week or so, um, we could perhaps see to donating £200, perhaps. Would that
Oh,
be satisfactory?
It's a little low, but why don't we call it 350 and we'll
350.
be discreet about
so
it.
much money.
How about we see about 250, and I bring in my programming directors to talk about boxing matches and seances.
Cash is
I,
fine.
I
I
like
think
that.
that sounds like a
That
good deal.
yeah, but I want that in contract writing. All right.
Oh, certainly, certainly we can. Now I have to leave a little bit of vagary to a contract. It'll be for security and services rendered kind of thing. I'm not
Yeah.
going to write down
That we're going to
investigating
investigating a hill. Yes.
interesting phenomena.
Consultant is usually the term. Saoirse, who
Oh,
has
very
been checked
good.
out for most of the conversation, has checked in around this time and has no idea why you guys are trying to pitch things to this man.
But
But certainly, if you'd find that satisfactory, I could have the papers drawn up.
I think that'd be lovely. My my parents back in a small town, they raised horses. And I like that you also like to watch horses being raised. One of my favorite things about horses is their, those giant eyes that kind of like peer at you, and you rub your forehead against their nose. Just kind of this gentle affirmation, and they can always tell when someone's lying.
Oh, I haven't gotten to spend much time caring for a horse myself. But you're right. I do enjoy their athleticism, and they're certainly interesting to watch.
Yeah, my friend told a fib, and the horse kicked him in the head several times.
Oh
So,
my!
Is that friend? And Saoirse leans to Sean. Is that friend Diablo?
God damn! What conditions do I take from that? Broken? I'm gonna click broken here. Holy heck!
Oh no!
Broken.
I cast
Hopeless.
Officially, you have to take broken last.
Oh, I feel broken. Oh,
So you could certainly give yourself an extra condition anytime you want.
I cast vicious mockery in this
I know,
game.
right? Yeah,
So-
I'm gonna click angry. That's the first one.
I'm gonna roll a d4.
So John looks a little afraid, right? He's a little like, oh my, I'm so sorry to hear that. Just give me a moment. Let me drop that paperwork, and I can also maybe advance you £50 for your expenses. If
Make it 100.
100.
All right,
all
all
right.
right.
What are we going to do with £100?
I'm trying to get fed. What are y'all doing?
Okay.
Trying to get a show.
I haven't been to the doctor in like 3 years. I would like some new clothes. I would like to maybe invest in a date sometime. Like, damn.
I had assumed no.
What'd you assume?
Do you
Oh
date?
no.
What do you mean? Look.
You sleep under her bed.
Just like any other person, I value connections with individuals, okay? And I want to be closer to them in both spirit and body. Right now, I am working underneath Lady Sean, but in a very platonic and professional
Literal
way.
sense.
Yeah.
Right. You took that a little like too literally, I think, maybe with the underneath.
You don't
Okay.
understand. I do not sleep well by myself alone.
The English
Alright.
are truly horrifying.
Based on some of the other things you said, I could see that.
I'm terrified for the things
Diablo,
out there.
remember what I told you about bringing up your parents in business meetings? It's not a good idea.
Sorry, it's just a weird day for me. It's a lot of changes and new
It's been a
things and
weird day.
experiences, and I'm feeling some type of way.
But we're gonna go see a hill, and there'll probably be something weird going on. And
Hopefully,
we'll
it's
get money.
not a hill we die on.
This
don't
is
plan
not
to
the
die
hill
on a
we're
hill.
going to die on.
No.
Well, that depends on your dice roll, I guess, when it comes down to it.
Yeah, this is gonna be the hill I die on. Cool.
All right, let's hike up the hill. Okay, let's roll. Oh no, all fails. You
Oops, we're
fall
dead.
down the mountain.
Rocks fall.
It's like, oh, you're gonna go do some physical activity? Let's roll your circulatory system health roll.
Oh no, I don't run.
Oh God.
All right. So he comes back in, and he's got a freshly typed, letter of hire contract, and he's got a little metal box that he's carrying in the other hand, and he sets the paper down and he shows it to all of you, to the terms as you all agreed to, and he then pulls out his pen from his pocket and signs it, and then passes it around the table. There's spaces for everyone to sign. And then he takes a little key out of his pocket and unlocks the little box and flips open the lid and counts out 10 10-pound notes and puts them on the table and closes the lid. He says,
Ooh.
I would appreciate, again, the quicker you could see to this,
Got it.
the better.
We'll head out tomorrow.
It
Definitely.
shouldn't take more than the afternoon.
Well,
Yeah.
Liverpool is a train ride away.
That's
Yeah.
true.
Like I
When we
said,
get there in the afternoon.
let's go tomorrow. We got some research to do tonight. That sounds perfect.
Oh yeah, so you can use the library. And the train has left the station.
And
So
his family.
he thanks you and sees you out.
Hey, Princeton, can I talk to you for real quick?
Yeah, sure, buddy.
Yeah. How are you with the opposite sex? Are you considered
I
attractive
fare
by their
okay.
standards?
I mean, I've been hit in the head a few times, but so I ain't as, but I do all right.
What's all right? You gotta what's some numbers like on an average week or month? What are your experiences?
I I have never wanted for companionship when I needed it. Is that
all right?
sufficient?
I think it is. I think I can picture you. This secretary, why don't you take her out tonight? Get to know the company a little bit better from the perspective of someone underneath. Maybe wine and dine her.
I mean, we could just ask her a few questions. I don't know that I need to lure in.
No, I kind of like this plan.
Look, humanity lies. All right. You're looking in this context. She's wearing the mask of a secretary for this company. You need to peel that mask away. And in places of vulnerability, that's where you get to the truth of everything. So take her out somewhere nice. Talk to her, get to know her, and then ask these questions. That sound good to you?
I don't know that I necessarily like the idea of taking advantage of this woman just to find out information about our employer.
It's not taking advantage. You're just exchanging things. You're buying her dinner, and she's answering questions for you. That's it.
Now, if we really think that that's necessary, I'm here for the team. But could you maybe sell it to me a little more? I don't see why I need her.
Lady Sean, can you come over here? I'm having difficulty explaining this process.
The train arrives back at the station.
What process are we talking about?
talking about sending Princeton on a recon mission with a secretary here to learn a little bit more about the company.
I don't know that
This
he's
company.
terribly sneaky.
It would be more
Yeah.
of a charismatic form of recon. Some people might call it a honeypot.
Oh, yeah, that could work.
I mean, I'm just my concern is that I don't necessarily feel like I need to toy with a woman's emotions if it's not absolutely necessary. You see what I'm saying? That-
Well, did you
what
promise her
exactly do
anything?
we think we're gonna get from this secretary?
Uh, if we are suspicious of the company, then any perspective from the assistant, who probably knows more of what is going on, is useful. But you don't have to make any promises.
Yeah. Like, what if they did know what they were trying to dig up and they're sending us there to deal with it without giving us the proper information? It's an organization of people, and people in organizations tend to do horrible things.
Unless you'd rather go to the library and do more research with us.
That's true. We are going to be poring over some books tonight.
This is not like a Saoirse tried to convince you to not do it. Or anything. This, going to the library is a good option. This seems bad.
This is the best option.
I mean, I'll ask her some questions, but I'm not promising anything.
That's all I
Okay.
can ask. And I look forward to our engagement tomorrow morning.
All right.
You're
I'll
getting engaged?
I'll
I missed
Congratulations.
something.
We're wrestling tomorrow morning.
Oh, I thought
Right.
you were wrestling a bear.
No, physical
For the
exertion upon
wrestling
each other.
bear.
Oh, I
All
don't
right,
judge.
let's just go back. Taxi.
Okay. So
you
Jackie,
leaving without me?
are you gonna go back upstairs? Or you could have not left. Like you could have just had this conversation outside his office.
Just right in
Yeah,
front of the
like if-
secretary.
Right, like
What up?
if he caught me like right in front of the elevator or whatever, I'll turn around
Yeah.
and go back.
Sure, you can totally do that.
All right. He walks over. Howdy, ma'am. I don't mean to be a bother, but your employer just offered us a job, and actually we had a couple more questions. But you know, I don't mean to be blunt, but what does she look like?
She's probably around 30.
Okay.
Fairly average in most regards. She's got, like I said, the super tight
Oh, that's right.
pulled back blonde hair and green eyes. She's wearing it doesn't look like it's a very expensive women's suit, but
Mm-hmm.
it's nice, right? It's very professional. She is pretty tall, though. I'll
Okay.
say that. She's like, how tall are you again?
He's probably 6 foot.
Okay. She's wearing the heels that she's wearing that are sensible work heels, not crazy like 19-inch kill your feet forever heels. She is eye to eye with you.
Okay. Is she wearing a wedding band?
Let's see. Nope.
Okay. Forgive me for being blunt, but you have the most piercing green eyes that I have ever seen. I'm sorry, I got lost for a second.
Kind of smirks a little bit. Why don't you go ahead and roll manipulation empathy?
Okay. Has she heard of me?
You know what? I will give you a bonus die for being Texan.
Okay.
You're
It's the
exotic.
accent. It's
Yeah.
the exotic accent.
The hat.
And the hat,
And
you
the
got the whole
hat.
image going, yeah.
Yeah, I got the whole look.
I'm glad
I-
we stopped for the hat.
I probably would have given you 2 bonus die, but you still have that little bit of a swollen lip.
I do have a cut on my lip. Yeah.
And she's not actually aware that you're a boxer. So
It could make you look dangerous.
Okay, so that's 6 dice, no successes. But
Ooh.
I should have some luck or something, right?
I believe,
Or is that not a thing in this? I thought there was luck. Is there not?
the thing. No, I mean there isn't
Amazing.
straight luck. No, you don't have that.
Oh, damn. Okay, so there's no rerolls. All right, yeah.
Can one help? Is there an assist action?
Y'all
Can
left.
use your
That's
resources.
true.
Your own.
Use my resources.
Yeah.
You're on your. You can rally. You can rally, Princeton.
Yeah.
She kind of like she sees what's happening here is she completely sees what you're trying to do, right? Like she
Right.
is very much like, oh well, how nice. Like perhaps after you've come back from helping out our company, we could see about going to have a drink sometime.
You know, that might be nice.
And she gives you like a little wink, like, good luck.
Yeah.
Don't die on a hill.
All right. Well, I appreciate your time.
Absolutely.
Before I go, there was something he mentioned in there. What was that fella's name that worked on that? Richard Keith, right? That was the name of the contractor
He was
that was doing the construction there.
he was
That's who
the
they bought
land
the
agent
land.
that
Yeah.
sold the land to.
Oh, right. He was the one who sold the land, right? Was there? I got the feeling that there was a relationship maybe between Mr. Keith and Mr. Rush. Was I off base there?
No, I just think he was the local land agent that we got a hold of to facilitate the sale. We haven't really bought any property in the Liverpool area before, so I don't know if they were acquainted before we started the scouting process.
All right. Well, I must have misread it then.
No
Well,
problem.
Thank you for your time.
Indeed. Good luck.
He heads out. I took a stab because I failed.
You tried.
Listen, it's a numbers game, man.
Yep.
Yeah.
All right. Send Sean in.
What?
Wave after wave of flirty PTs. Eventually we'll win.
One will land.
Yeah.
Just the elevator door just keeps going ding and opening.
Yeah. It's like,
And it's like a
hey.
very confused elevator operator, like, what?
Yeah.
Comes out, gets shot down, you get back into the elevator all sad. He takes you down. The next one comes up.
We'll get him eventually.
All right. So you all have the rest of the afternoon if you want to gather your belongings, move over to the Rose house, or whatever else you might want to do to prepare. Spend some time doing some investigation,
Heck
You can-
yeah.
anything like that.
Yeah, I definitely want to have my stuff taken over to the Rose House and make use of that library. Start looking for any type of Vaesen that live in hills, ones that don't like metal particularly, like maybe cross-reference those two.
Sure. Okay. I like it.
I guess I'll help you because that was where I would start. Also just local legends in the area in Liverpool where that is based.
Sure. That also works. So let us.
Princeton, I got an idea for us. It's gonna be dope.
I can't wait.
I'm
And I'm
so
gonna change this hat
scared.
because it's hot. Oh, that hat is so hot.
Yeah,
Yes,
you
in
are.
fact.
Hey.
Trust me, I understand. For some reason, I chose to wear a hat covered in a badger pelt outside in Southern California for the weekends of the spring.
Nice warm fur hat.
Yeah. It wasn't the smartest thing I've ever done, but I tend to drink when I'm out at the Renaissance Fair, so there I am. So let us do a little research. Go ahead and make investigation logic check
Okay.
or a learning logic check. Either one, whichever is better for you. We'll do one
They
at a time. So we'll start
are
with
the same.
I guess I can't use the skill for the actual purpose this time.
I got
I
one
burned it.
success.
one success. Okay. So and specifically you were looking for
Cross-referencing Vaesen that live in hills and ones that don't like metal.
check. So it's fairly well known that a lot of fey creatures don't like metal in particular. But it would be unusual for them to have touched the metal to disassemble the tower.
Mm-hmm.
The things that live in hills, if it's actually like an old, what's the Scottish term, a dun, the the burial mound sort of hills, or if it had something buried inside, that could be a whole variety of all the ghost leaning Vaesen that you've heard about and encountered. But
It's the rebuilding for me. Like, that's a message.
So that part does give you some idea that it's probably something that's more messing with people, right? Like it definitely, there's a little bit of a sense of humor to that, right? Like, why would it bother to take down like, if it didn't just walk up and hammer it with a club and knock it down and wander off into the night, or it didn't light it on fire, or some have a meteor streak from the sky and smash the tower. It purposely took the tower down and built a replica out of wood, just to mess with people.
If I sort of look into local legends, but I'm specifically looking for tricksters.
Sure.
I think that's where I'm going to aim.
So go ahead, do the same learning or investigation plus logic.
Quality dice ASMR for you. Oh, motherfucker. 2 successes out of 6 dice.
Okay. So here's, let me find the little picture maybe I could show you.
They're all going in the trash.
So it's possible that it might have something to do with a, let me see if I can get it close enough for you to see. No, it's gonna fake out.
Nope.
Never mind. A will-o'-the-wisp. They tend to be protective of property. It also is known that it can lure people away with its magic, and has caused people to like go off and drown in streams, things like that. But you don't have any evidence of that.
But they don't move things, do they? They're not like builders.
They're not known as builders, no. But it's a possibility, right? Like at this point, you guys don't actually have that many clues but I'm marking down how many successes you got investigating.
Mm-hmm.
And when we get there and you start to amass more clues, I can use that to be like, oh yeah, you remember reading something about this when you were looking through the library, that kind of a thing.
Okay, I was gonna say, in that case, I'm gonna continue researching what I have, but I think also start pulling down books about local history or Liverpool history and stuff. Just I'm gonna take some of this library with us.
So there are another possibility is called an ash tree wife. They're a Vaesen that's specific. It's almost like a dryad, right? They're specifically tied to a tree, and they don't very much like it if people come near their tree and start digging up the ground and messing around with stuff. They would take offense to that. And also they're quite good with wood, surprisingly enough. So that's on the list. And then specifically being where you're from, the most notable trickster of all, the leprechaun.
Motherfucker.
Right?
It's on the list. It's always he's like
Always
leprechauns are always on the list.
Yeah. Yes. You're like, well, that sounds like it could be a leprechaun. Really? You said that last time and it was a brook horse.
Always. Always a fucking leprechaun.
So those are the couple things that you found that might, between the two of you, that might be of interest. And then as you get there and do some more investigation, maybe I'll have some more clues to give you because of your time researching.
Good.
We have started the bulletin board of possibilities.
All right.
Yeah, where did we get the string? I do not know. It's just
red yarn
here.
wall. Okay.
Yeah.
Is there anything else anybody would like to do before your trip?
Yeah. All right, you ready, Princeton?
All right. What
Oh,
you
it's
got
time for the wrestling?
Well, no. We're going to go to that family's house and ask them some questions. So, over the years, I've collected hair and have gotten it to fashion so that, I can have a wig. So I'll come down in the back while they're in the garden with like this redhead wig and one of Lady Sean's like nice dresses on. And I'm going to use the makeup to kind of make myself look pretty and stuff.
Okay.
I'll be like, Princeton, let's go meet a family.
Are you all right?
Yeah, I'm fine. How are you? It's a lovely night. Pops open
I'm
an
good.
umbrella.
Okay. So I'm coming just to make sure that the family's okay, right? That's the goal here.
What?
Never mind.
No,
let's
you
go.
add credence to what I say so that it becomes more true. You are my husband. I am your wife. We shall speak to them as if we know the individual in question and hopefully gather more information about this person. Are they a good husband? Do they hear things in the middle of the night? Are there things underneath the bed or in the closet? These sort of things.
All right. I just want to make sure you know that this family is not like the enemy, right? Like we're just going to ask some questions.
Exactly. There are no enemies. There's no good. There's no evil. There's just everything in between, and you make choices day by day.
Okay. All right. I hear what you're saying, and I just want to make sure that like just maybe ease off of the creepiness. I mean, the fella, Mr. Rash, he's like a grown man, and you had him on the run, but so I just don't want you to frighten, like if this fella has children. You know what I'm saying?
It sounds like you think I'm an apathetic person who can't judge whether or not other people are frightened by the things that I say.
So you do
I
know that you scare people.
I assure you that my intentions is to provide significant fear in people's hearts so they understand the dangers of this world. And most of all, to ensure that Lady Sean is happy
Okay.
and
So,
joyful.
anyone ever tell you you catch more flies with honey than vinegar?
It's actually not true.
I'm not after flies. I'm after bigger things, darker things. The carcass
Okay.
that the flies buzz around. I want that.
Sure. Oh, all right. Well, let's just take it easy. We'll go slow.
Yeah, we'll go slow. We'll see how this goes. Take me
Yeah.
by the arm, lead me, be my husband, and I will be a good wife to you tonight.
Okay.
I'll
mean,
let you take
you
the
don't have to
lead.
sell it to me. Yeah. All right. He's not going to
Compliment
take your
me.
arm though.
Oh. You should
All right.
compliment me when we approach the house, though.
Does your disguise look convincing, or is it like the
what role would I have to apply my makeup in a convincing and sexy way? But not too sexy. I don't want to outdo Princeton.
Are you serving fish? That is the question.
What?
It's a drag queen reference. Never mind.
I was serving fish. Sure. I don't know.
Well, you know what? I'd let you use medicine precision.
Ooh.
If that's a skill you have, because I feel like cosmetics is an art.
It's not a skill I have, but
Okay.
I'm pretty good with precision. What bonus would I get for my makeup kit?
How extensive is it? Like, is it like a full, like, Lon Chaney actor's kit of makeup, or is it just sort of a standard array of cosmetics that you could find locally?
Yeah, it has helped him both in trying to make Leishan look amazing to some people, and also sometimes to disguise himself as a lady in waiting in some households.
All right, so I'll give you
the
plus,
usual.
I give you +2. That's
all right.
Completely reasonable.
Let's see what we got. I got no successes.
Okay.
And 2 failures or 2 ones.
Oh, well, I mean, the
like
one
a
part
mustache.
Yeah, you didn't shave today, but you applied the makeup, and it looks, all right. But Jackie, you're sure it's not going to really convince anybody, but at the same time, it's fine, right? Like,
tell me I'm pretty.
I don't. You have a date with Christian Bale's Batman.
Yeah.
All right, Diablo. I think maybe you let me do the talking at first, and then you jump in if necessary.
Yeah, that's perfect. Call me Lady C.
Okay.
And to be fair, like, I know that historically this would be more of an issue than we're going to play it in the game, because
I don't want to
live. No, that's totally cool.
yeah, I don't want to live in a world where that's a problem. So that's fine.
Yeah,
exactly.
that's not his issue. It's that it's done really poorly.
Yes, yeah, that's the thing. Yeah,
it's probably more scary than anything.
The issue is not. The issue is not the cross-dressing. The issue is it's Diablo.
Yes. Like, is that a Diablo?
The problem is Diablo,
that Where did the wig come from? Why
Too much Diablo, not enough makeup kit.
Yeah.
That's the problem. So cool.
Yeah.
You guys can hustle off to that address, no problem.
Okay.
I feel like we sit like in the library, Saoirse and Xian look up and they just see you guys leaving. It's like, oh,
Well,
got
you
a date
don't.
after all.
You know what? From the library, you just see Jackie leaving with a lady, and you're like, I didn't know he had a visitor. Oh, all right.
Oh,
He got his date after all.
good for him.
It's clearly not the same lady that you saw earlier.
Yeah, red hair, looking hot. That might be a dress. Like Lady Sean's like, do I have that dress? I don't know. Like,
That dress looks familiar.
yeah, we
Yes.
both went to Macy's. Like, I understand.
That's like as much as we've noticed. Just go back to research.
Anyway, back to hills
So,
Leprechauns.
and leprechauns.
I'm like explaining to you why it's a leprechaun.
so,
yeah.
you guys get to the address, and it's a perfectly normal. It's not suburban, but it's a normal sort of, those streets in London where they have they're like townhouses almost. So it's a block of many homes, but they're all touching. They all have a little front garden, and like a little parking area, sort of with a gate, and you can walk up to the house. And it's a 2-story building, and it's totally nicely kept and not ornate or anything. But I mean, the guy's an engineer. He's not like the owner or something.
Yeah.
Oh,
I
we're
have
doing
my
talking.
fan. Yeah. Princeton, that was such a funny joke.
Oh, thank you. Um,
And you like, what time did you guys head over there?
Should be like
probably
evening, right? Right
yeah,
before
like
dinner.
afternoon, evening. Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, like in the just before dinner hour. Okay.
Mhm.
So you hear just a moment, and then you hear some feet, and you hear some muttering on the other side of the door, and then the door opens, and there's a lady standing there wearing she's got an apron on, and like from the smell that comes out of the house, she's probably working on cooking dinner. And you see there's 2 kids that are doing the like kid like peek around the dining room door to be like, who's in our house? Who's come? Like, is it somebody, like, what's interesting? Is it somebody we know? Is it another kid that wants to play? Like, all of those questions. And both kids are like taken aback because there's some random man and woman that they've never seen before on the doorstep. And the lady's like, can I help you?
Howdy, Mrs. Keith. My name is Jackie
Oh, no.
Princeton.
Eckersley. He's the
Eckersley. Oh,
engineer's
sorry,
name.
I got the wrong person.
That's good.
Howdy, Mrs. Eckersley. I'm Jackie Princeton, and this is my associate, Lady C.
Hello. What can I do for you?
Well, we're looking into something for the radio station, and we just had a couple of questions. As I understand it, your husband is the engineer working on a project in Liverpool.
Yes. He was actually supposed to be back this week, but last I spoke to him, he said he's going to be probably 2 more at least.
Right. And we're part of the team that's looking to alleviate some of the delays. We want to get him home to you quick as possible.
Well, that would be wonderful.
I hate to do this as you're probably prepping supper, but could we come in and talk for a bit?
Oh, yeah, yes. Excuse me. Please come in. And she kind of gestures you into they have a small but serviceable
I'll
little
step
living
back
room.
and let
Yeah.
Lady C go first.
Yeah, I'll float in with an air of grace and elegance, staring at the children with a fan.
And the kids are like, and like slowly backing around the corner, like trying to keep as little of them visible to the visitors as possible, but still be able to see them. But and once you're inside, the house looks completely like a average working family's home. The there's a couple of couple of coloring books out on the coffee table that the kids were probably coloring, and there is a very nice radio in the living room that's sitting there and not turned on at the moment, but that's really the
Other
only
than
extravagant thing you see in the
okay,
living
so
room.
other than the radio, it doesn't look like this family has more money than they should for.
No, it looks totally normal.
Okay.
And the
Um,
radio, like I said, I mean, it's sort of an extravagance, but like clearly, where does he work? Like,
yeah, no, and that
it's
makes sense.
probably a given to him by the company more than.
Right. Well, like I said, we don't want to trouble you for long. Lady C, I believe you had a couple of questions you wanted to issue.
Yes, as you and I both know, when the husbands are away, they often stray. So I want to understand more about the health of your family. Do you feel like your husband is satisfied?
Oh, well, certainly. I mean, he loves his work.
I'm not talking about his work, I'm talking about with you. Does he enjoy time
Oh,
with the children? Does he want to be a
oh
dad,
yes.
or does he look at them as burdens in his life?
Oh
All
no.
right, all right.
He, I mean, he's always playing with them when he's home. I mean, he's been doing a lot of traveling recently,
Hmm.
because of getting these radio stations set up around the country. But when he's home, he's trying to teach our oldest to build a crystal radio kit. You know, they're involved, and they all like going down to see the football matches on Saturdays.
Oh,
That's
they're
nice.
sports fans, eh?
Oh, yes, and the children
Yeah,
play.
that's good for them. Now I apologize. Some of that. Tell me, has he run into any delays in other installations?
No, no, this is the first time that they seem to be having such trouble.
Right, right. Did he perhaps mention anything to you about the nature of the delay or when it came on exactly?
Well, he said that. Excuse me. He said that it's been a. It's just been a chore up there. Conditions have been pretty wet, so they're
Mm,
having to dig
mhm.
mud more than soil. That slowed them down. He said that there was problems with the tower. Uh, I don't know what that means. I don't know very much about the actual building of these things, but like I said, he hopes maybe 2 more weeks.
And you've been
Right, and
receiving letters? Sorry,
We
husband, for cutting in on you.
we 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 talk on the phone. Um, you know, once or twice a week.
And he enjoys speaking with you. Your conversations are enriching. You
I,
both get something out of it.
well, yes, it's certainly nice to hear his voice, and we usually chat for quite some time. It gets expensive if we talk too long, but
has he mentioned any oddities about the job site? People seeing things, stuff going missing that shouldn't be. You know, people smelling fudge. Just strangeness, anything
okay.
out of the ordinary.
See, let's see. No, really, the oddities he said are mainly the troubles they've had. It's not. He certainly hasn't mentioned anything about strange smells or.
All right. Uh, well, I have to Lady C, I don't think I have any other questions.
I
Should we
have
let
one
these
more.
folks get? Oh, all right.
One more question, if you don't mind, dear husband. Your children, when they go to sleep at night and they wake in the morning, do they have any trouble sleeping? Any nightmares?
Oh, well, certainly the occasional, childhood bad dreams, especially when their father's away. I do indulge them a bit and let them come sleep in my room sometimes.
Hmm.
But
Oftentimes a family is very much like a protective circle. When one individual leaves, doesn't matter who it is, the circle is broken, and that lets all sorts of beautiful and fantastical things to enter into your life. But it doesn't sound like anything malicious is here, so I'm thankful for that.
no, we haven't had any. We certainly haven't had any problems. The last problem we had, we used to have a neighbor that lived next door, and he very much didn't like the radio, so he would bang on the wall every time we were listening.
Do you
But
still hear that banging sometimes?
No, he's moved out now. I think he had to go to the home.
What home?
Like a
rest
nursing
home.
hospital. Yes,
Ah,
he was quite an elderly man.
Is this person dead now?
I don't know. I haven't kept up. We certainly haven't had any contact since he left. And his family sold the house.
My husband and I thank you for your time. Make sure to hug your children. And
yes.
have the most blessed of nights tonight.
Well, thank you. I could make some extra if you'd like to stay for dinner.
I don't think that'll be necessary. I appreciate it though, ma'am.
All right. Well,
yeah, it's a little too raw to see a family as loving as this at this point in time, but I do appreciate it.
I'm sorry. I certainly good luck to you in your investigations, and I appreciate anything you can do to get Peter home.
We'll do everything we can.
Thank
you. Thank you again, man.
Come, husband, and I'll put my hands on his shoulder and hold him as we get up.
And as you walk out, one of the kids is in the background, like holding like a tea saucer, like the way you're holding your fan. Clearly, like doing the same fan motions, like they think it's awesome.
Yeah, I'll like look at him.
And he kind of like waves with the tea saucer and
oh, hi. Oh, one day we're gonna have kids. I know we are, Princeton. Now we'll head on out.
Truly the weirdest.
As soon as we get outside, damn, what is wrong with you?
Look, when I approach a role, I very much do it in a method sort of way. I just don't act, I become.
Yeah, I'm starting to get that.
You did well. I think we got a lot of good information here. It looks like we were able to cross out several questions I had in my mind.
Well,
I think they'll be okay.
I'm glad. You don't think there was anything weird about the neighbor fellow, right?
I do think so. If I were to write it down in a horrific book, in a horrific tale, that knocking would persist long after this individual has died. Getting louder and louder by every night until it creeps into the room, kind of a little knocking on the bedpost right above the kid's head.
You don't always have to say that stuff out loud.
You don't want to know what I'm thinking, Princeton?
I can't tell if you're trying to get at me or if that's just who you are as a person. And I don't know which is worse. But we're going to figure it out.
We will. Come. I'm sure we can have dinner before the night ends.
Oh, all right. I'm gonna jot down the address of the neighbor in case we can look up what nursing home that person went to.
Sure. You probably have a hard time doing that tonight, but
Yeah.
Yeah, no, not. I'll just make a note of what the.
certainly.
Neither of you asked for the neighbor's name.
That's
Okay.
true.
No.
Look. Look.
Old
we need to
man
find
who
an
hated a
old-
radio. Obviously.
Look. Look. A lot was happening.
I was dealing with a lot in there. It's not
Yeah,
easy.
exactly.
Happened.
We were doing our best.
New investigators
God.
take a little while to figure these things out. So, all right. Is there anything else anybody wants to prepare before you go?
I grabbed a couple books to take with us, but Saoirse's fallen asleep in the library, as everyone knew she was going to do.
All right.
I will tuck in Lady Sean, but without my my usual
yet.
clothes.
If for our like top 3 of could be these particular things, if there's anything that they are is like a bane to them, like they don't, I don't know.
Oh, for sure.
Their kryptonite. I want to know their kryptonite and what they like. They're like what their favorite thing is, so that either I can offer them something they want, or I have something I know that they will not want.
Okay. So let me make sure I get this all right.
It's like Bane, lots of bullets. We got this, guys. We have exactly that.
There's like your
Blunt force trauma, my one weakness.
Yeah.
There's always like the standard stuff, like their little iron nails in a bag somewhere, I'm sure. Like
They can't
Yeah.
live with their head
Holy
cut off.
Saint John
yeah.
Wort
That.
stuff.
Yeah,
Holy
there's your
Alright.
standards. But then if there's something specific, we should take it with us.
Mhm.
So Will o' the Wisps, essentially the only way to get rid of a will o' the wisp is to return land to the rightful owner if it's been taken improperly. The thing about will o' the wisps is they're not a physical being, they're all ethereal. So guns and swords and knives don't have any effect. The thing to look out for is their magic lantern that lures people astray. That's kind of what they do. So
Mhm.
they'll lure people off into the night.
Do not follow the lantern.
Right. Yeah. Don't step in the light, Caroline.
Caroline.
Yeah. And then Ash Tree Wife. Let me- Thing here. The way to deal with one of them is to kill the tree, right? If you
Oh.
cut down the tree, they are no more. But they like foresty things. You know, they're nature spirits, so they like nature, that kind of a
Cool.
thing. And then everybody's favorite, the leprechaun. They're physical beings, so they can be attacked or grabbed or whatever, but they are very wily and they're good at getting away. They really do not like the trappings of Christianity. Or really organized religion in general. That's not their jam. So if you come at them with symbols of faith, they have an aversion to that. But when they get riled up, they get mean. So you don't necessarily want to make it angry.
Yeah, I feel like Saoirse just has like a personal vendetta specifically against leprechauns, even though it is nothing to do with like anything. It's just one of those things where she encountered one rubbed her the wrong way once. She's like, fuck them. This specific thing
Reading
Okay.
books. Fucking
has nothing to do with her
leprechauns.
trauma that like started this whole like Vaesen thing. Just fuck leprechauns, man.
Sure. Well, and you know, over your lifetime, everything's been blamed on leprechauns at one point or
Yeah,
another, right?
it's
Like-
yeah.
Yes.
Like, oh, you came downstairs and you found the milk had gone bad. Leprechauns. Oh, you know, like, oh, you
Yeah.
you know, the heel on your shoe broke off. Oh, leprechauns. Leprechauns
Yeah.
are also historically known as shoemakers. Just-
Hmm.
That's a thing.
They're always at the top of the fucking list.
Last question. Has it rained today?
No, it was overcast all day, but I would say no rain.
Duly noted.
At least here in London. Did you want to like research Liverpool weather?
No, I need local rain for
Ah.
magical purposes.
Oh, I see.
We make
so
it rain.
cool.
Now,
So,
do you get tucked in?
Now you may tuck me in.
All right. We'll put a little blanket over you and fluff up the pillow. Get you a glass of milk, put it right beside you. Be like, you enjoy your night. And I'll get down on my knees and slither and crawl underneath the bed, closing my eyes.
and when you get under the bed, there's like a blanket sleeping bag that has been laid out very nicely with a pillow and everything under the bed for you.
Excellent. He like starts doing his normal routine as he goes to sleep, where he picks out this this little knife that he has from his boot and carves "I am safe" again and again until he falls asleep. The place that they used to sleep in had those carvings all underneath and around.
On the bottom of the bed or on the floor?
The bottom of the bed, kind of like the little
Okay.
boards and stuff, and
Sure.
inside, kind of
Okay.
hidden from anyone who isn't under the bed. But yeah,
Yeah, no
That's
problem.
why we never get our security deposit back.
no, they're like something creepy happened there, and
And
we're taking your
just
money.
say goodbye to that. Bye-bye.
Yeah, like you're not getting it back.
All right. So, Jackie, did you take a room
Mhm.
facing the front or the garden?
Let's see. Which rooms were taken? The green room is taken, and the which
It's the
room
only
did
one so far.
Saoirse didn't pick?
I think that
I don't think
Saoirse
she'd
had
been
her-
upstairs.
Yeah, hasn't gone upstairs yet, but like waved her bags upstairs, like, oh, pick a room, it doesn't really matter. Like whatever's left, she'll take.
Yeah. I think he'd take the red room,
Okay.
whichever direction that's pointing.
Do you want that pointing the street or the garden?
Oh, sure. Street.
Okay. Cool. Um,
Does Saoirse go to sleep like
she-
right away? Because
She
I think
fully
he's-
fell asleep in the library, like literally mid book. There is a open like drool on book situation happening.
Somewhere Hawkins is frowning.
There is like if when she sits up, if the next morning there will be like transferred text, I'm sure.
oh. Like waking up
I
at your
think-
keyboard with the impression of all the
Fully.
keys inside everything.
Yeah.
I think Jackie's hard to go to sleep. So he'll probably go down to find some whiskey or something and try to
Certainly.
ease his mind after the evening. But if he sees you sitting like falling asleep in a chair in the library, he'll look for a blanket to cover you at least.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, she
Uh,
sleeps hard, just like out.
I sleep now. Yeah. All right. Cool. So the next morning, you guys get up and make your way to the train station. You certainly have enough money to buy passage to Liverpool on a morning train. And the train pulls out, it starts heading out of London. You get out into the countryside not too long. It's a pretty morning in the UK, right? The rolling green hills and stone fences and all the stereotypical things you'd see from a train shot in a movie. On the train, you guys, did you spring for like a private cabin, that kind of deal, or are you just gonna
probably.
Okay. I mean, it's still well within your money allotment to be able to do so that's fine. So you settle in, and the train ride seems to be going normally, and you're heading off to Liverpool, and I think that's probably a good place to call it for tonight.
Woo,
And we can pick up
accomplished
investigating.
So much.
Yes. The most exciting part is getting to know everybody, right? Like that's
A mess. This is a mess.
Oh my gosh.
Hot mess.
Listen,
so-
we're gonna be on the radio, you guys.
Made brave
I
and heroic
know.
choices this game.
fame.
I have to
unfortunately.
know, are we like chummy on the train now because we fought this morning?
Oh,
yeah.
I forgot
Oh
all
yeah,
about
how
that.
did
I'm
your fight
sorry.
go?
We're gonna have to
Oh,
do a
I think-
flashback.
Well,
Yeah,
Yeah,
we're gonna
that'll
have
be-
to do a flash.
We'll do it as a flashback next time.
That'll be
I
our
have the
cold
whole
open
thing planned.
next time.
Okay, it's
Yeah,
just
we'll
the
just-
whole thing.
Yeah, we'll do the intro movie, cold open into the wrestling match in the morning, and then warp back onto the train. Yeah.
Confusing for everyone involved. I love
That'll
the
be
idea
great.
it's like a Rachmaninoff for the next episode.
Yeah.
It's
All
just the scene opens up with us like bare naked staring at each
Yeah.
other in this garden reminiscent of like the Garden of Eden.
I feel like Mitch
Just-
is naked and Jackie is like, "Oh, you meant bear?"
Told you, bear.
He definitely comes with like bare knuckle, right? Like it's like, oh yeah, bare knuckle boxing. Yeah, that makes sense.
Yeah, bare knuckle boxing.
Uh, that's fantastic.
Insane.
That'll be great.
All right. So this has been our first episode of London Calling. Let me go around one more time. Everybody can give where we find you, if there's anything you want to mention, all that kind of good stuff. And then we'll say goodnight for the night. So let's go reverse order. Mitch.
Hi, I'm Mitch. You can find me on Twitter at Mitch S. Bustillos. I am very excited for next episode because there's going to be so much. The biggest thing I have going on is we are finalizing Necrobiotic. We're sending it to the printers sometime this week or next week. So this is like your last week to pre-order it. So just Google Necrobiotic pre-order and you'll be able to pick up a book, especially the special edition, which this is the only time to get your copy confirmed. Otherwise, it's all up to the fates. So yeah, that's me.
Cool. Clara.
Hi, I'm Clara. You can find me all over the internet as clearly_golden, unless you're into mermaids, in which case you can find me on Instagram as mermaid_clarity. I say it's coming back. I am currently right now here every Monday, and you can start catching me on season 2, I think, of Queen's Court Games' actual play of Vampire the Masquerade. The show is called The All Night Society, and it would be a good time right now to catch up on our last season because it's season 2 starting imminently. Really don't know when. Don't be mad. Anyway, that's me.
You're just gonna get a call like, are you coming?
Considering
Like, oh.
well, so we pre-record, it's just a podcast. It's everywhere podcasts can be found, but I do know that they do watch our streams sometimes. And so if Aaron is awake, he will be not mad, but disappointed that I can't remember basic facts.
You got the name out there. That's the good part, right? Yeah, that counts for something. You weren't like, I'm on a podcast, vampires. See ya. Like,
that's next time.
All right, Kurt.
Hi, I've been Kurt. You can find me on Twitter at Kurt Potts. And I'm a game designer. I'm the co-author of Lighthearted, which will have a small, an announcement I'm excited about coming up in about a week, probably. So keep an eye on my Twitter for that. Or if you really want to keep an eye on Lighthearted news, you can go to lighthearted.games and sign up for the newsletter.
Awesome. Sam.
Derp. Hi, I'm Sam. I was muted, but now I'm not. You can find me on the internets at Red Pandroid on most of the socials. This is currently the only game you can find me in, so tune in here every Monday to see us do weird shit. And if you like my style and want to check out some art I make, I am also a product designer. So you can check out my store at stiarnastore.com. It's STIARNA.
Very cool. And I am CADAVE. You can find me on Twitter at CA Sith Lord. Or if you're local to Southern California, come out to the Renaissance Fair and visit the Rogues Reef stage, where you will find two of us most
I
weekends.
forget.
But come on by. We have a fun time. If you bring in kids with you, like wave at us and we'll come maybe see you near the back so your kids don't pick up words they shouldn't repeat at school.
You're never too young to learn.
Yeah, right. Yeah, it's all about whatever your level of appropriateness is for your kids, right? You make that choice. But yeah, other than that, I'll be here next Monday and all the future Mondays until we get some mysteries solved and maybe find some sexy supernatural creatures out there for everybody. So we'll see what we can do. With that, this has once again been London Calling episode 1. Thanks for joining us. And a big thank you to all the Patreon supporters that support the Happy Jacks Network and have really helped with the big move and transition to the new studio space and all that stuff. So it's been awesome. We will put up our thanks to you in just a moment. Have a good night, everybody. Bye-bye.
Bye.